Welcome to the Federation X podcast. And this week, the Federation X Fantasy Legends Draft. And you are looking at 4 commissioners with a long history in CyberSlam, in Wrassle, in Ring Wars, I'm sure there were some others in there, in Federation X. And so, with us, Titus Fox.
I love the way you say it.
Maverick, Lars, and I am Grayson. And on Wednesday, we did a dirt sheet special edition to determine who was going to go first in the draft. And Maverick won the pool. He has the first overall pick.
Are we on the clock? Are we post discussing? Because
I think we're ready to talk. What are we talking about?
I'm just curious if anybody's thirsty enough to want to make me an offer for my pick.
I made you an offer.
What, you gave me an offer? What offer? Remind me of what that was.
Let's just swap.
You just want to swap straight up?
Yeah, why not?
Wow, you heard him offer me what he offered me, right?
Yeah, but you don't lose anything. You know I'm not going to pick who you're going to pick, so you're still going to get who you're going to pick.
Yeah, but you gain something.
I moved
you got to give to gain.
You could change your mind.
He's lost nothing. No, I'm not. If he did this.
You know what's really interesting? I just noticed that Tony and I are wearing the same apparel.
Oh.
Yeah.
High five. It's like it's meant to. I'll tell you what. I'll trade my pick to you if you permanently retire Tony Robes.
That's a great deal. You know what? I would sanction that trade.
Tony Robes, yeah?
Tony Robes the second, you permanently retire him.
No wordplay, no dancing around it.
Oh, I can't. Fuck off. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Well, then if that's the case, unless nobody else has an offer, unless somebody else has an offer, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my first pick.
Let's hear it.
So are we gonna tell the audience how we're gonna?
Yeah, I think. Look at this is why Lars is our favorite commissioner. He's #1 on everybody's list. Look at him making sure we're organized. We explain the rules. Why don't you take that part over, Lars, and just walk everybody through it?
So #1, before you make your pick, you're telling everybody how this character fits in your fet. #2, you're announcing your pick. #3, you're singing the praises. Why are they important to you? What was your interaction with them? And #4, everybody gets the chance to shit on your pick. And then we allow the butthurt to sizzle a little bit.
That's right.
And then the next pick goes.
And also, if you are in attendance on the broadcast, so some of you can't see this, but we have 6 people currently in attendance, and I know there's some others that registered. If you are in attendance and you are picked after your commissioner shares their feelings, we will bring you on. So hopefully you'll have your camera ready to go. If you don't, we'll at least have audio. And you can talk about how you feel about the Fed you've been drafted into for a minute or two before we move you back into attendee mode.
So the goal is to have as many people as we pick on the live stream as possible.
That's
We'd
right.
love to have everybody.
Fantastic. So we're looking forward to this. We see people going already in the live stream. Let's get started. Maverick, you are on the clock with the first overall pick in the inaugural FxF Legends Draft.
So I got to be honest, and I got to tell you, when I first found out I got the first pick, I was excited, but then there was some pressure. And I honestly, I'm not kidding. I've spent the last probably 36 hours tossing 2 or 3 names around, trying to figure out who I wanted to take first. this person that I've decided to take, I mean, I don't feel like it needs any explanation as to why they would be the #1 overall pick or how they would fit into a Fed I ran. I think that pick speaks for itself. And I know Tony gets a lot of shit, but I decided that I'm not going to pick Tony Robes.
The biggest surprise.
I saw it. He
I would
nibbled.
have been like,
He thought you might have him. He was on the hook.
I was like,
This person, he fits into anybody's Fed. I have categories: storytellers, workhorses, sellers. You know, I have this inner working of what I look for. This individual fits all those categories, and I think anybody who was picking him would have there's really nothing I can say other than, probably not surprising anyone, my first pick is Alan Scott.
I'm actually thrilled to hear that. I know that's not always a slam dunk for you when it comes to my characters, and I am super excited that was the pick. But I'm going out of turn. Feel free to give your thoughts, and then Jim and Chris could take their turn crafting on it.
Right. As far, again, I mean, honest Alan Scott is one of the complete characters. Yes, I do have a preference for Nighthawk. I thought long and hard about Nighthawk. I thought long and hard about Alan. There are other people that I will mention if they get drafted by someone else or they fall to me, which is what I'm hoping they do. But I decided to go with Alan because he's just that all around. He works for any Fed. That's it. He works. I'm happy that I got the first pick, and I'm happy to have Alan Scott on my roster to kick my night off.
Awesome. Hey, let's give it over to the other commissioners and let them give their feedback on that pick.
I think it's no secret how much I am a fan of Alan Scott. Like, first overall pick, yeah, it makes complete sense. Like, yeah, if there was a thought in my head, because we all know what I'm going to do with this next pick,
right?
But there was a thought in my head: if Alan drops to #2, like, can I not take him? Like, I could get Tony next round, top 10. Like, if Alan was there, like, so yeah, obvious pick. Like, yeah.
So everybody else has clarity. Chris and I schemed before this was even a really structured idea. We schemed, and I actually thought when he said, "Hey, let's do this thing," and then in the last pick, I'll do this thing, and we weren't trading names, but I just assumed he was talking about taking Alan with his first pick. And he had to kind of say to me, actually, I'm going to do this other thing. And it didn't even occur to me. And then when it did, I went, oh yeah, of course you are. Because my default thought, knowing how much Chris liked him, was, well, of course that's who you're going to take. And when it wasn't, I was like, oh. And then then I got it. Then I figured it out. Tim, how about you?
No surprise. I mean, it's in my top 4. So it's not a pick I can shit on. It's not a pick that I fault for the #1 pick overall. It could have been one of 4 that I have on my map or my board for sure.
Yep.
So
100%.
Much respect for Alan and how he basically grew his character throughout the years, and playing off Gino the whole time, and holding that bond between the two was just pretty classic. So awesome stuff.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Actually, a little disappointed to know there's zero chance that Mav's going to get to take Gino and we'll be in the same Fed. Like, that can't happen.
Right.
Somewhere in the next 7 picks, somebody's going to, I assume, take Gino.
Unless I decide to trade somebody I picked for Gino. Just saying, if I don't.
True, could happen. We could make a deal. There could be trades flowing and guys could make deals. So what I'll say is I was pleased to hear that, because, and I don't know if everybody realizes this, Alan really came into his story in Mavs Fed. So I played Alan in a bunch of Feds, and obviously Fed X, and Tim was there, but that real root of that story where I found his voice and figured out how Gino fit in his story and how Ryan fit in his story. Long before there was a Good Guys, the foundation of Team SBFF and the Good Guys were laid under Maverick. And so I mean, I think that's just a natural fit. I'd be super excited if that's what we were doing. All right. That means it's time for pick number 2. And hold on, Max Holiet. It will be, off you go, Titus. What have you got for us?
Well, I'm going to explain this because that's what I'm going to do. This Fed's going to be built around this person. And a lot of people will say you can get him later, but taking him here is a statement of intent.
I'm sorry, I fell asleep.
I'm Titus, not Tony.
It's Titus, man.
It works
Show him
either
some
way.
respect.
It works either way. Go ahead. Sorry.
But it's a statement of intent. Like, this guy's going to be the top guy, and I'm going to get lots of really good guys to go around him. And that's what I'm going to do. That's the plan. And it's going to get me a shitload of heat. And it fuels me. It fuels me. Oh my God, inject it into my veins. I love that heat. So with the 2nd overall pick in the Federation X Legends Draft, Show Wrestling selects terrific Tony Robes II. And that's going in my signature, baby. That right there. I'll scratch Tony Robes off my list.
So I didn't have him on my list.
Me
Not because I knew you were going to pick him, because I just don't think he makes it. So I don't really have to clean him off. But
Yeah.
I will say this. I think Lars and I owe you big. Like really big. I don't think you understand what it means for our next 2 picks that you didn't take one of the top 4.
We're so thankful.
Right.
You're
Like, I'm
welcome.
not even mad you did
welcome.
this. If you
made
see how strong our 2 picks are going to be.
You made it so much easier for us.
Really
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Also, based on this round's judgment, I mean, you're basically free for the rest of this thing. Right? I have no
Why
idea
am I?
what you're going to
Do
do.
you
but
just
your
want to auto
judgment-
draft? Do you want to auto draft?
Yeah, do you want to just put on auto draft, Chris? Or
I'm gonna build a strong Fed. I'm gonna build
Okay.
a strong Fed.
Okay.
all right.
I would just like to say, first of all, thank you for saving me ink because I didn't have to cross any name off of my
Oh.
short
That's what I'm
list.
saying.
Of course.
So,
Of course.
and that honestly, that was a terrible pick. That was probably the worst pick of the draft.
Heat. Heat.
I would have picked up Tony Robes in probably the 3rd or 4th round.
Come on, be more honest.
I appreciate that.
I would
I
have.
appreciate
Right here in the post-draft envelope. That's where he belongs.
I absolutely appreciate that, Lance. Thank
He
you.
wouldn't have made it. So
You
Thank
want the
you.
legit truth? I have Tony Robes at 24 on my draft board. So
I appreciate that. Fucking
If
hell.
I'm gonna be
15,
truthful,
16 is where I had.
and if I'm gonna be truthful, and I'm being 100% serious, your name's not on my list anywhere.
That's fine.
Only,
That's fine.
oh wait,
That's
only
fine.
because I knew you were gonna douche this up.
Of course I
I
won.
can't-
He's gonna give you so much heat. Come on.
I
He's
can't
gonna
be
give
the
you
only
so much
one.
heat.
I cannot be the only one who thought for a second there he might have been yanking our chain and he might have been
Yeah.
about to go for a
Yeah.
legit pick.
Yeah.
If Alan
absolutely.
Scott was there, I probably would have done.
Too,
If
no,
Alan
too
Scott was
late.
there.
Too late.
No,
No, I
honestly,
believe
I
that.
would have done.
I believe
If Alan Scott would have, I'd have led you down the path of Tony Robes and then taken Alan Scott. I would have
Right.
done.
Right.
Wow. So thank you, Mav.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Right. Because we get paid off on this, right?
Yes.
Like if Mav goes with someone else, Alan
So
goes,
now-
it's someone out of our 4 that get taken for sure.
Oh, trust me. Trust me. I'm looking at my list, and I already know that the first 5 names I'm looking at are all going to disappear in short order.
Right. All right. So
You have an announcement to make, right?
So we're good, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we have an announcement to make. There has been a trade. Good Wrestling will trade CCW the 3rd overall pick and the 6th overall pick.
Right.
And in return, Good Wrestling will receive the 4th overall pick and the 5th overall pick. So if you want to know how much we both respect the pick that's about to go, I made Tim let me get 2 picks in a row out of our 4 that were on both of our boards in order to get this particular pick. So, CCW, you are on the clock.
Well, I just have a quick question. What if Tony and I want to veto this?
Do you? You don't know who we're
Be a
picking.
prick.
On what
I would.
grounds?
I'm just reminding the audience that
No.
vetoing is an option.
Go ahead, but you got to make a fair case. There's no fair case to be made.
Yeah, there is. I don't want you to take somebody I want. That's a fair case.
Well,
But that's going to happen no matter
anyway.
what. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going.
I'm not getting way too much for way too little.
Correct.
He's not getting way too much for way too little.
Correct.
It's we're just swapping spots.
All right, go ahead. I'm ready to cross a name off my list. Go ahead.
You better be
Okay.
ready to cross 4 names off your list.
Paul.
How does this character fit in my CCW? He's the foundation. He's the storyteller. He's the pusher of angles. He's the creator of a lot in my Fed. He brings a leadership and knowledge to the game that I'm also going to be able to use his admin skills on the side as I plug him in here.
Great observation there.
Okay.
I think that's super underrated in this pick.
So not only is this a player, this is a commissioner, admin, a guy that can step in and fill in as needed and do a lot of the heavy lifting. So with that being said, that makes this pick even more strong for me in particular. Full of 260 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal, the superstar, Diggsy Brown and Sneaky Jensen.
I'm happy for you for that pick because I knew he wouldn't be there. Hence,
No chance.
I ain't crossing another name off my list because I knew he wouldn't be there
No.
Yeah.
because he was one of the 3 I considered with that number 1 pick.
Tim, do you want to say any more about this pick?
You know, it's just, it's one of those guys that are, you very seldom see in the game over, and we've been at this for 25, 28 years.
Yeah.
You don't run across that kind of charisma and personality along with the willingness to help and build something really memorable with somebody that's willing to take a new player under their wing and build those characters up as well. That's Diggsy Brown in a nutshell. So
100%. So nothing but respect from me. Honestly, if we hadn't worked out the trade, I would have taken Diggsy and I wouldn't feel bad about it at all. I think, first of all, a lot of people forget, like, he was a founder. Federation X doesn't happen if Sneaky Jensen doesn't, I think, even bring the idea to Lars and I and go, we should do this thing.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people underestimate how great of a builder of the game he was.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, as a player, when I got my first national, I took a look at, I want to say it was iCow, and of Terror can probably confirm that. and he was the first one I saw. And I brought him up, and I can only bring some, and I brought a bunch of my guys who transferred into that Fed. I brought them up, and he was so angry that I'd left and other guys behind, that he came in angry. And so years before it really turned into the thing to do, we ran the biggest superstar hates the commissioner angle. And there's a reason the superstar title is named after this guy. So I can't kudos you enough on this pick.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to pick him because I could have swore that's who you were locked in on, you know, so.
I have a 1 and a 1A. He was my 1. And in order to get my 1B, because I actually have a really tight top of my board, I was prepared to sacrifice my number 1 to get my number 1A and 1B.
Sure.
Chris?
It's a shame for me because I never got to see Diggsy Brown, unfortunately. But you guys talk about him in such high regard that it's like I wish I did. Like it's the same, another like Stormfire. He's a guy Benny talked about so much, such high regard. I regret I'd never seen him. And Diggsy Brown, yeah, he sounds like a guy that I would have loved to read and interact with. So other than that, I can't say anything.
Yeah, you'd have loved him.
And
by the way,
I would.
If he was around, Rubs would be twice as over now because that's all he worried about.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing. I'm going to blow it up 10 times bigger than you realize it can be.
I think the only person that never liked him was Ice Hog. That was it.
Really?
Yeah.
How do I know that Ice Hog
What's
is
wrong with
always
that
been in
guy?
the wrong? Because you don't like Bruce. It's the only reason I need.
Totally.
Obviously, that's a phenomenal pick. Like I said, I wrestled with the idea of picking him first, and it sucks that he's not around anymore.
100%.
And I mean, for those of you who never got to play with him, you just have no idea. I honestly, no bullshit. I don't have words. I really don't. I respected the hell out of him. And I just think it sucks that he's not with us anymore. So I'm not trying to bring everybody down, but
Here's the Diggs.
There's Diggs. We'll wait for you, Chris. No worries. All right.
great pick.
So that brings us to number 4. I've already keyed it in on my board over here, guys, because I know where I'm going with 4 and I know where I'm going with 5. And I can pick them in either order, except I really can't. So here's what you need to know. I'm going to pick a player that checks every box. There's a reason when I talk about Diggs in such high regard, and I say, man, I had a 1 and a 1A and then a 1B. Like they're just so tight at the top of my board. There's a lot of people that I looked at and were like, they're legitimately worthy of being first or second round picks. But I'm about to pick 2 guys that I think you can make a reasonable argument as number 1 overall. And for a whole host of reasons, they create angles that other people want to participate in. They tell story that develops and grows. They do heat as well as anybody. They get shit over. They're funny. I'm entertained. They can actually write match action. I know it's a growing hatred, but I'm actually entertained by good match action. I like those matches, and they both do a wonderful job of it. But they're also both capable of stepping out of it. They build tag teams that you want to be in the ring with the tag team. They build stables where you're like, are we going to fight the stable or figure out how to get in the stable? Like they check all my boxes. And this person that I'm going to pick with the 4th overall pick did something more. Helped build Federation X. Not all of it, but was a key role. Some of our greatest ideas came from this person. Now, they didn't execute those ideas, but they came up with them. And there's something to be said for that. And more important than anything else, he's my SBFF. With the number 4 overall pick, Good Wrestling will take Genocide Jason Miller.
Excellent pick.
There's one off my list.
We knew it was going to happen.
And thank you for making me not have to pick him, because I would have.
Right.
Next pick.
I had a good sense early on that until we get through about 5 rounds, Lars and I are going to be butting heads a lot. And the truth is, for me, I think about, like, even in his weakened emo state, he was a useful foil for a growing new stable. He was behind the scenes throwing out ideas that were making things happen. This is who Genocide is. And so, and then you think about it, like Team SBFF, the longest reigning tag team champions, you know, the semifinal opponent that really could have been in the finals against Storm in the original King of Wrestling. Like, he is no joke in a superstar title match. How do I beat that as a pick? And so, Izzy Diggsy, no, I love Bruce, and you know, I only kind of like Miller, but Genocide is right there with Diggsy.
We always need more Gino.
That's right.
He needs to be. If the question is whether we need more or less Gino, it's always more, for sure. His ideas are great and welcome.
Right. If you could dub that into the Saturday Night Live skit about more cowbell, but make it be Gino, that'd be great.
That's right. More Gmo.
That's right. So that leaves me in an interesting place, because my next pick is also a legitimate number 1 overall. Oh, sorry guys. Do you want to comment? I skipped that entirely.
No, we don't.
I was going to say, are we going to comment on each, or are we going to comment?
No, jump in. I'm sorry. I was rolling into my next pick. Go ahead.
Well, my comment is real simple. There's a reason why Storm would never turn on Gino. Okay, I mean, there's nothing but great pick. There's nothing more to say. Great pick. Upset that he's not mine, but you know, that's how it goes.
Yeah, I echo everything. Gino is like top draw, and like you said, the ideas he puts out, the things that, you know, the whole talent invasion, he really didn't participate in that much, but he facilitated it. That was, and that was amazing for the game. Like, right. Not just what he's doing on the boards, but what he's doing like in chats and stuff. Like, even now I chat with him and we'll throw an idea at each other. It's like so good.
It's very true. I think he's underrated. You know, we tease him a lot because, you know, he'll throw out an idea and it doesn't go anywhere, but the value of the ideas he generates is really high.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it gets you thinking about something else, and then maybe that something else is a valid idea and executable, you know?
Totally agree. Totally agree.
So,
and so here's an exciting one, because for me, would I have been surprised if somebody decided to take this person first overall? I wouldn't. I think there might be some people who go, oh, that's a little high. It's not. And in all those boxes we just talked about, they're still checked. I don't have to uncheck anything. If we ask him to judge, he judged. If we asked him to step in and work on the power base, he stepped in and worked on the power base. We asked him to create angles and put other people over. Who puts people over better than him? I can't believe this character is available to me at number 5. And all I can say is this is good wrestling, and welcome home, Stan Daniels. And
excellent choice.
Hey, it turns out Stan Daniels is on the cast. So why don't we get Stan Daniels in here and hear from Stan? Stan, are you ready? You're going to come in and have a conversation with us? He came in muted, folks. Let's see if we can get him to unmute and tell us how he feels about being drafted 5th overall, back-to-back with Genocide as the foundation of good wrestling.
I mean, we can just end the rest of the draft, right? I mean, good wrestling wins. I mean, and honestly, with the shit number 2 pick, I'm really first round, right? That's
So, you know what? That's why I like you, Stan. It's all truth
Nice.
all the time.
Hold on. Stan,
yes.
you need that belt behind you belongs to CCW now. Sorry.
All right. We'll see. No, but I've heard lots of talk, that I may go high first round. I'm a number 1 pick. It's with names like Allen and Diggsy and Gino and stuff like that. I've never considered myself on that caliber, but it's a real honor to be there. When I said when on the Manhaniels podcast, putting people over, I think is the best thing for the game, and it's something I've always strived to do. I always want to make people look better. I hope that that it continues. I mean, that's I'm really enjoying this rebirth. It's gone great thus far, and I'm excited and I'm honored. I appreciate everybody's kind words. I think that with Gino and Stan at the top of Good Wrestling, that it's going to be really difficult to try to. Well, I mean, 2 federations have a chance to match up, but show.
Joe will be fine.
Yeah, show. You're gonna have lots of hand jobs, right? Free hand jobs.
That was brilliant.
But no, I thank you, Grayson, for the pick. I really appreciate it, and I'm very excited to see who else we get to play with.
That's awesome. Hey, before you go, one really important question, because I wanted people to understand how strategic I am. This didn't get me just one person, right? When I draft you, I get Stan Daniels and Manhaniels.
Manhaniels comes along with Stan everywhere he goes.
That's 3 picks to 1. Do you guys just want to call it now, or?
No.
Appreciate you coming on, Stan. Thanks so much.
Congratulations, Stan.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, the webinar is going to kick Stan back over. There we go. Wonderful that we had him on and we can get him on. Love that Stan got picked early and that he was there available for me. I can't tell you guys how pleased I was with that. And I'm relatively certain, not guaranteed, but relatively certain that if we didn't make the trade, we'd just be flipping feds right now. So let me turn it over to Lars. Let's find out as the snake comes back around. Lars, who is going at number 6?
Wait, Maverick wants to.
Oh,
say
Fab,
something.
you want to jump in?
Well, I'm going to be honest, and this is nothing against Stan whatsoever. He was a lot lower on my list because I didn't think he was going to go that early.
Oh,
Just straight throwing heat.
No. It's not a slight. It really isn't.
He was hoping.
No, I'm just saying. I am actually probably one of the few people that was surprised that he came that he went that high. Not again, nothing. I love Stan.
Yeah.
Okay, but you also know what I look for. So for me, he was on the list, but not. I was just like I'm saying, and it was a great pick. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I just wasn't
let me ask you a question because I think that's really interesting. Did you ever have like a really good Stan Daniels run in your Fed when you were commissioning?
Probably not. I'm pretty sure Stan was in. I'm pretty sure he was at CWA and NGPW both at some point. But I don't.
I think Val's making like a super valuable point on the live stream. He said, "Listen, Stan can work with everybody. You want to go comedy, Stan's got you. You want to go serious,
Right.
Stan's got you. You want to do an angle where dead guys come back to life, Stan's got you. Like he's that guy."
Right. No, and again, like I said, I'm not bagging on your pick. It's a great pick. I just the way I have my list laid out, it's a lot different.
Right.
So, but it was a good pick, obviously.
I see, and we're starting to see some of what we talked earlier about that we were going to see. I see Philly out there watching. By the way, Philly, super glad you dropped by. If you want to do the podcast sometime, let me know. Saying, hey, like Silencer was the best seller. Like you won Salesperson of the Year 3 times in a row. And Manowar joking saying the 4th H is recency bias, which I think is hilarious. Here's the thing. We're going to pick based on our experience. That's how somebody like Diggsy Brown gets by Titus. If Titus has played with Diggsy, we're not having the conversation about, oh, if Alan was available, I would have taken Alan. He's in a spot where he's just like, I'm going to have one of those 2 available. And so I can't take Titus in round 1. And so it is about who you played with. It's about who you ran with. And that's what will make this interesting when 6 months from now, we put another one on and maybe it's not the same commissioners that are sitting here. Titus, anything to add to Stan before we move on?
I've only ever seen Stan from afar because he didn't work with me because I was a pool shitter. But getting to play with him now is the what we've had like a week or so of like a full on, and I've enjoyed every second of it. Yeah. It's the dynamic between New Breed and H is so fun, and a lot of that's down to him. And yeah,
of course it is.
Great player. He's a great, like you said, he could probably do anything. I've seen him do serious. I've seen him do comedy. He can do everything.
Yeah, absolutely true. All right, 30 minutes to make 6 picks. They thought it was going to go so fast after the last group. We might get to a point where we're like, so we're going to finish this next week. All right. Tim, over to you with pick 6. That 30 minutes to do 5 picks.
Yeah. So I just looked through some of the comments on Facebook live feed, and I don't want to draw this out, but I just want to say, it's like, if you're out there and you commissioned in the game and you were in your world, you have a completely different view of how we're picking. We've been doing, obviously we've been doing this off and on for 20, 25 years. You maybe have as well. That's great.
Yeah.
But you didn't run the same feds we did. Right. So it's going to be different. So everybody's going to have their own different opinion on what makes their fed 100%. Work. So
100%. And let us know, like maybe next time you're one of the people sitting here and we get to hear what you think is the best draft.
And we can shit on your shit then.
And we will.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that's why we're at where we're at, is we're able to do this stuff and willing to do this stuff, and we have the wherewithal and the ideas to be able to do it, which is great.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Love that we're in this position to be able to do this thing.
Me too.
In this silly, crazy world. So with that being said, I'm picking a guy that I wish we could find. One of the guys that I wished we could bring back to the community again, and nobody's heard hide nor hair of him. It's a guy that used to team with XS, the guy that used to feud with XS, with the network, with Gino, with and against. A guy that you're all pretty well familiar with. When the sounds of the 3-legged dog by Firewater comes playing on the PA system, and that one-legged man with a fake leg comes out in Strife, that's who you know the CCW's second pick overall is. Strife. How he fits in, before you guys start to comment, the guy can sell like there's no tomorrow. One of the top sellers that I've ever read in my life.
100%.
And can tell a story and is creative, again, along that same vein as Diggsy Brown, is really a foundation creator for a Fed.
100% agreed.
So.
Well, I'll start off and tell you that, again, I'm actually kind of happy because so far I'm not crossing a lot of names off my list, simply because Fuchs is or Fuchs, whatever, Fuchs. He's the wild card because I don't know how he's going to pick.
Mav,
What?
turn on your autocorrect. It's spelled funky.
Funky. Yes, funky. Yes, it's funky. You're right. I don't know how Titus will pick, but I know you guys. And I knew, because I have 2 versions of my list, and one of them's in a garbage can, because I know how you guys go. And I didn't even bother writing Strife's name on my list, not because I wouldn't have taken him in a heartbeat, because I knew he wasn't going to be there.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic pick. I had Strife in CWA. I had him in NGPW. He's one of my mainstay guys. If I was going to run a Fed, he was one of the first people I tapped. And again, I would love it if he came back. Oh my God, I'd celebrate. But awesome pick, CCW. Here's to you.
So, Mav, was he in your top tier or no?
He would have been had if this was going any other way other than a snake draft.
Right.
He would have been on my tops, absolutely.
Okay.
But I knew he wasn't going to make. I knew he was gone.
Yeah.
I knew one of you were going to take him.
Right. Absolutely. Just so everybody knows, we're not without some level of ability to connect with him. XS and I talk about it frequently. It's, he's an art guy. He's an artist. He's whatever side of the brain that is, he's fully leaning on it. And so he's busy in other stuff right now, but it's not like he doesn't know we're here. He's not like he doesn't on occasion get messages. Sometimes Price hears back from him. Sometimes he doesn't, but we continue to prompt them because he has much love when he shows up here. And basically this was, this was the conversation when we set all this up. Hey, if you want Diggsy, you got to give me 4 and 5 because I'm going to take Gino and Stan. And Lars Bake's like, so then I'm taking Strife. Like we both knew who our board of 4 was going to be. And so this is not a surprise at all.
Yeah, there was no way Strife's dropping to me. There makes absolutely no way. I never got to commission, but I got to play with him, and a lot of fun. He could just do everything.
Colt says Strife knows we're doing this, and he says if he goes after Tony Robes, he's never playing again.
Oh, I would love Strife to come back as Tony. I would love Strife to come back.
Of course,
that would be.
Yeah, because someone will put you over as great as you think you are.
He would. He absolutely would.
All right. Let's keep it rolling. And so, Titus, you're on the clock.
Okay, so obviously I'm building the Fed around Tony. And I think what Tony really needs is a good babyface to feud against and be his main feud. And there's probably not many better at it than this guy. I can't think of many. So I'm going to take Marlo, who I thought went incredibly low in the mock draft.
Agreed.
Like ridiculously low. And I'm happy he's here. And yeah, he'll be the main feud with Tony Robes, playing the baby fit. Like, yeah, he fits in perfectly for me.
Yep. Hell of a choice.
You're
silent.
We can't hear.
You're silent.
Sorry, guys. Rightly, or I mute so that I can type in who took who. Everybody doesn't have to listen to me type. I wasn't sure that he wouldn't get past you, and I love that he didn't, but I wasn't sure. And so I think that's the right call. I'm disappointed, but I think it's the right call.
That's where he was on my board, where he would fall. Right, exactly where he'd fall. Yep.
Good pick. I can't. Again, we're in that stage where everybody's pick is pretty much going to be a good pick.
I think the dynamic with Marlo, and maybe it hasn't been said yet, is that he could do both. He can lean both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he needed to be babyface and be creative as a babyface, I don't think you're gonna find very many that could do it as well as he could.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Exactly.
Who did more babyface work than the good guys, and he was right in the heart of that.
Yeah.
You know, and Randy, he came up. He you know, when I had the pleasure of commission with him, he could be innovative too. He's the one that brought the whole crazy. I don't know if you guys remember us doing this, but he's the one who brought the whole crazy 8 match idea. That was all him. That was not me. That was him, and he brought that to me, and I loved it. I would Marlo, I would take him in a Fed any day of the week, and twice on Sunday. That's a great pick.
And you get the ideas, and you get the aspect that he has helped administration wise for a long time.
Yep.
A lot. That's right. All right, we are on to the CWA.
So I get 2 picks now, right?
You get 2 picks.
I mean, I had to wait a long time for that one. All right. Well, this next guy, again, well-rounded, workhorse, storyteller, and this particular man was with me since day one. The guy I'm about to pick was with me in IRCW. He was the cornerstone of IRCW. When I went to CRF, he was the cornerstone of CRF. I brought him with me. When I went to CWA and to wrestle, I brought him with me. SNS, he came with me. NGPW, he was with me. And I can already tell you know who I'm going to pick, Jeff. I can see it on your face. And I know it's disappointing you because with the second pick overall, the CWA selects Man of War.
You asshole.
You had to know. Man of War was my rock all the way back to day one.
He's not that good. This is a reach. You shouldn't have taken him. Such a good pick.
Is Mano available on the chat?
Let me take a quick look. I didn't see him earlier. No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you know who was? Hey, we missed an opportunity. So we're going to pause and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Marlo's on the chat.
Marlo.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Coming in on mute.
So I've invited him in. I hope he's ready for this because we didn't give him any preamble. But Randy, are you good to at least unmute and talk to us for a minute? All right. I don't want to kill it and I don't want to force you. So I'm going to. Oh,
We got it. Hang on.
Here he is.
Here we go.
Randy.
Hey guys.
All right.
Tony, I'm honored that you picked me, and you're absolutely right. Marlo and Tony would be great enemies and eventually be great friends. I think eventually Marlo would go and help Tony out somehow. That's just the way that Marlo would play.
Awesome.
That's such a great dynamic too, that you've got the guy who's worked the roads, who's done the hard jobs, who's been that guy to work with the young star, to be his foil, and then maybe to take him under his wing later. Like, what a great trajectory for you guys to tell stories.
And I, as a player, because like you've
Special
said,
guest star.
you guys have said like you would pick yourselves in the 15th round because you'd want to play in this Fed. Well, that's why I built the entire Fed around Tony, and I think I would love to work with Marlo. Like you said, that storyline would be amazing. We'd be best enemy and then turn into best friends. Like that would be so great to like role play and do. I'd really,
Yeah, love it. Love it. Now, Marlo, before we let you go, any words of advice for your new commissioner? Any shout outs to who he really needs to pick in the next round or two?
Anyone who's good that's left. Although I think you've already got them.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for coming on, Randy. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Randy.
Let me change him back to an attendee. It'll freeze him and kick him back over there.
That's
All right.
great.
Hey, we missed that opportunity. I didn't want to go by without doing it. It was great to have him on. Good to see him.
Yes.
So now let's catch up because we're talking about Man of War, and he certainly
he's in
deserves
chat.
some conversation.
He's
in the
in.
chat? Is he in by any chance in here?
He is not in here.
Ah, damn it. Well, let me sing his praises real quick before you talk about him. You talk about your all-around player. He came into IRCW. He played the face. He plays the heel. He sells. He engages people. I mean, there's a reason why I tote the same people around with me wherever I was commissioning. But he was just head and shoulders. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I could not be happier that he fell in my lap after I had to wait that long to get back to me.
I was concerned that you would have your eyes on him, and all I hoped is that you did what you did with Stan and underestimate how early he would be.
No, sir. Second on my list, right underneath Alan Scott.
Good choice. All I can say is it's a really good choice.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to comment on Man of War?
I've only seen him in this run, in this reboot, and he's been good when he's been around and when he's posted. Always really funny. It's like he's kind of a comedy writer, but he's not. Like, he has moments that are really funny, but he's a serious it's pretty good. And obviously I know who's behind him as other characters. And this just goes to show, because a lot of other people might not think I haven't got Man of War that high on my board, and other people won't have Man of War, but it's to do with Maverick's connection with him. He always followed him, so that's why he's so high.
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%.
I think you can't go wrong with a Man of War Royal Ryan Scott, can you really? So
Right. I mean, same here. I haven't got the Federation connection with Mano as some of you guys do, but obviously I know the legend of Man of War, obviously, and I love the fact that he's filling into this new age reboot role with our promos, and enjoying every minute of it. You can tell, which is awesome, and really cool to be able to mix it up with him for a change, because I've never had a chance to really play alongside him. So that's great pick.
Awesome. Hey, you're back to back CWA, so let's hear the next one.
All right, so I got to tell you right now, based on my board right here, this is a tough one for me, because I still got 3 names active right here that I want to take. And
so we may pick up Mano later, but he's trying to get on.
Okay. There's 3 names I've got in the next slot, and it's not easy to decide which one to pick.
You're only allowed to pick one of them.
So, having said that, this next person is that I'm going to pick is probably more well known for their other character, but this one again has always had a special place for me when it comes to running a Fed. I'll just tip my hand a little bit to those of us who've been around before. Leader of the network. So all I can say after that is, with the 3rd overall pick for the CWA takes Haley.
All right, Haley it is. Haley in at the number 9 overall pick.
He's on.
She
is on.
Let's go see. I'm just taking a look.
Well, while you're taking a look, I'm going to sing these praises again. Not only was it a pleasure to have Haley in the CWA and GPW, it was also a pleasure to work. And again, don't get me wrong, I love XS. XS was an all-star for a while. When XS and Static first showed up, Storm sent them out to find a party squirrel, and they actually spent 2 weeks selling it, And I love XS, but Haley was always the more serious of the characters, which you guys know I tend to lean to. And I've had some outstanding matches with Storm against Haley. And I can't imagine running a Fed without Haley in it.
Yeah, who's coming in here? Tim, are you sending people your link? They're just showing up as you.
Oh, are they? That's probably why. I'm sending him my link. It might be Mano. I just sent him that link. He's the only other one I've sent.
Drum roll.
Again, it's me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
This thing
hold
on?
Yeah.
He's having an Ed moment.
Yeah, second, right? Oh, am I
Press
upside
the
down?
button.
I'm
Press the
trying to
button.
press the button. There we are. Hold on. I got to turn on the camera too. There we are. Hey, everybody. Hey,
Wait.
everyone. Hey, good to be here. Good to be here at the draft.
I thought Ed was the one that was technologically impaired.
I hit the button and suddenly it's just all of your faces. And so I couldn't find the camera to turn it on. I'm going to say this. Thank you so much for picking me so high. Every single time, though, that Mav opened his mouth and went, well, I wouldn't have picked that person that high. I don't see anything in him. I'm like, oh, no. If I go in the top 3, thanks a lot, Mav. Thanks for, like, burying us.
Hey, let me tell you something else. You remember when we started this and I said there were 3 or 4 names at the top of my list for number 1? Mano was one of those names.
Jeez, it's too much. You're too kind. You're all
Dude,
too kind.
I took you everywhere with me. It's not too much to me.
No, we went everywhere. We started out in Richmond, and every single Fed, I always felt very fortunate that every single Fed you went to create, you brought me along, and I thought that was really cool, and I was really honored to be a part of that. I also the first ever CWA champion, won it in a battle royale by pure dumb luck, but the very first ever CWA world champion right there, 2 belts. So that's anyone can win a belt any day of the week. Yes, so I'm very happy to be part of this team. I'm very excited to be part of CWA Fed. Best of luck to all the other Feds. Be excited for cross feud promotions with Man Haniels and all that.
I think before you get to cross feud, you better look up in CWA and realize that you're going to have to go one-on-one with Alan Scott.
Alan Scott? Oh no, that guy's the toolbox. I remember when he and Lane Francis were going around. That's the reason we call ourselves the New Future, because they were the new breed. And at one point in their promo, they said, we're the New Future Tag Team Wrestling. I said, this guy's a dickhead. And I went to Ed, who, as many times, I did not know that Ed and Alan were the same person. I didn't know that Ed and Nighthawk were the same person either. Spoilers. And yeah, I'm like, let's be a tag team. We'll call ourselves the New Future. We're going to also take a 3 Days Grace song, and we're going to be the antithesis of those boneheads, and we're going to fight them every chance we get.
It's fantastic.
Congratulations.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
So happy to have you. Oh,
Sorry, Jeff.
I am so happy with my last 2 picks. I can't even tell you.
I believe you are. Would anyone like to comment on the Haley pick?
I never had much dealings with Haley. Like, she was on my list because I knew about Haley. I know Price more as XS.
Yeah.
I interacted with Haley the most as Lars as a player, with butting heads with the Blood Brothers and the network, and we had a really great time feuding together against each other in this UCE. For that, it was at least 3 or 4 months, and we went at each other quite a bit. I enjoyed that, and I can see why she would be an anchor to a Fed for sure.
I think you took the wrong one.
I love XS too, but you know my preferences. So
listen, let me make this super clear. If you don't know how my draft is going to go, down with Twitter lesbians.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a distinctly different draft, you and I.
No kidding.
Look, I'm just I get where you're coming from, but like I said, I like what I like, and this is, and I should probably throw this out here as a disclaimer. I love comedy guys, but you're probably not going to see me draft a bunch of them, because that's just not how I mean, I had a few, but I mostly ran serious stuff, and that's what I did. So,
all right.
I mean, I'm not saying there won't be some on my list if they fall in my lap, but just being honest.
No problem. Let's talk to show wrestling and find out who's going number 10 overall.
Well, I love the fact that Maverick's picking the way he's picking, because he's picking people I have on my list, but they're nowhere near as high as my list, which has left me in a bit of a pickle because now I've got, because this pick's going to be on pure talent alone. It's a
Wait,
best available right now.
Capital T?
No,
Oh.
no.
I'm salivating. Please.
And I know none
Make
of
my
these
day,
are going to be
Titus.
here. Sorry?
Make my day, Titus.
I know some of these are not going to be here on the way back. So I have to take this. And I think due to recent events and stuff, it would be a feud that Tony would probably want to carry on. So I'm probably going to take with number 10, Jason Storm. In his prime, like, yeah.
So apropos.
Well, that
Very nice.
sucks. Damn it! I wanted to be in Good or CCW.
Oh,
I quit.
I thought Storm was going to start to slide a little there. I was starting to sniff that there might be a little bit of a slide going on.
I thought I have to take him now because he's probably
Right.
going to go in these next 4 picks.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right,
I
so
think that
let me,
was a
You're right. You're right.
let me
Yeah.
say this: as a commissioner, as the commissioner, I will say, you picked my brother. You're an idiot. As Storm, I would say, I'm just glad I get to kick Tony Rowe's ass more often. Thank you for
That's
picking.
what I thought. We may as well carry that on.
I feel like me being picked in this round was an overreach, and that's not a joke, but I appreciate what you said, and I look forward to working more with Mr. Robes and in show.
I don't think it was a reach because I think you were going very, very soon.
I
Well,
had
I
Storm in the
appreciate
third
that.
round.
Yeah.
I had Storm in the third round. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had Storm as a potential early second, late first round talent that I thought would get
I'm over here.
drafted in the 3rd or 4th round.
I'm over here with number 7. That was like 7 or 8.
All right. So I think the next pick belongs to Good Wrestling. And I cannot tell you how excited I am that this pick has made it to me, that somebody decided this was not worthy of a pick in an earlier round. I'm talking about a writer who can do anything, sell anything, and who maybe lives in the shadow of an alt that other people love more than they should. Because there's zero chance that Haley should have gone before Johnny XS.
Let me look. Wow, you guys are doing great. I'm just not crossing anybody off my list tonight.
That
How
was
do you
my
feel
next.
about that, Lars?
That was my next pick. I was gonna pick the talent Nazis right back to back.
Ah, that would have been
You had
so
to
good.
Screw it up.
Ah. Well, maybe we can work out a trade.
Maybe.
That's right. Hold on. I'm actually willing to consider that right here, right now. I'm willing. This is me just, listen.
What's
Stan
your
Daniels-
offer? What's
with
your
that-
offer?
Here's my offer. You give me, well, same offer we did last time. I want the next 2 picks. You can have my last pick, and you'll have to wait to. I can't take Ed, so he's going to make it to you.
Why didn't you just go 3rd, Lars? Gee.
That work?
Deal.
Deal. All right, you heard it here, folks. Johnny XS gets picked 11th and traded to CCW,
Who now has the talent Nazis?
who now are going to lock up the talent Nazis. All right.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. Here's the thing. Now everybody knows XS would have been my pick. But I also get to know the 2 other people that were on my board that I was like, well, the odds that I'm going to get both of those when I do this just went away. they're back in play. So I get to know Ed and XS will be together. Who doesn't love the talent Nazis?
Hold on. We got to go through all the people, but you go ahead and pick your two, and then we can settle up the conversation.
You bet. So with the number 12 pick from CCW, Good Wrestling will take Kieran Crowe.
Nice.
He was one of, yeah.
If you weren't listening in the last however many podcasts and other things that I've been in saying, I don't think you understand how early you're going to go for the talent you have as a writer, your ability to sell comedy, your ability to do match action, your ability to go deep in a story, the spirit with which you write, not to put others down, but to lift others up. Every Fed wants that guy. Plus, hey, I hear maybe you and Genocide have some beef. And I would like to see that because I didn't get to see it last time. So I'm super excited to have you join us. And I just know that the next pick will also fit in super well, whether he hangs out with his pals or whether he goes off and kind of spins out and does a real face thing instead of hanging with the good guys. How could I go farther than round 4 without picking my cousin, Royal Ryan Scott?
Nice.
And so now that I've made them both, I will open the floor for you guys to make comments about either of them.
Okay, I'm going to make 2 comments right now. One of them starts with an F, and the other one is a U.
Is it Funky You? Because
You
I'm
just
kind of
took,
down with that.
damn it. I have gone this entire thing without crossing off one name until those 2 picks. Son of a bitch. They're great picks because they were both on my list up top. Damn it.
Don't sleep on this. Man of War and Ryan Scott drafted in the first 4 rounds.
There's a reason, folks.
Yeah.
Crowe, though, Crowe, let me tell you, son, there's another guy right there, and he knows it. Everywhere I went, I took Crowe with me. I love that fucking guy, and I'm really upset that I don't get that guy, and maybe later on we have to talk about a trade.
I mean, I'm always open, but it's a tough one. So I looked at my board going into it. I have some other people on my board, but I'm starting to get a read of how this draft is going to go. And so I think a couple of them are going to slip a little bit. And Crowe's not. He's just not going to slip. He's such a good seller. He's such a good writer. The matches are on point. The feuds are there. The angles are carried, and he puts people over. He falls right in the wheelhouse of all those skills we all value so much. Plus, look what he does outside the game, what he's doing on Twitter, what he's doing on the dirt sheet. Like, here's a builder. I don't care that he's not a commissioner. Here's a builder. And Max Fabricator, I assume, comes along for the ride.
Yep.
No
Can't
doubt.
lose on that.
Outstanding picks, man. I can't. I'm mad because I don't get them, but I can't blame you for taking them.
For me, with my last pick, when I said I've got a couple of people here on talent alone, Kieran Crowe was one of them. And I know I made comments before when you said, oh, he's going to go in top 16, and I shot it down. That was tactics. I rate Weedman. I've got a character called Stoner Boy. Of course, I rate Weedman. And yes, amazing pick. And Royal Ryan, my favorite ever match with Stoner Boy when I'd first come up to NGPW. It was so fun. Great player. Enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm starting to see as you look at it, like, I think outside of Genocide, Genocide's the only solid top to bottom heel. The other 3 picks I have can do whatever they want to do. And not that Gino can't play a good guy, but let's face it, the douche is pretty strong in that one. Yep. But I like the flexibility. I like the versatility. I like the quality of the writing. I would love to, if each of us are putting 4 people into a King of Wrestling, I feel pretty good about my top 4 going into that tournament. All right. Any other comments before we turn it back over to Tim?
Great picks.
Lars, you are on the clock for CCW.
So Did Jason Price ever show up to the Zoom?
Let me take a quick look.
No.
I did not see him there.
Okay. He is on the Facebook chat.
Yeah, he's
So-
lazy that way.
So as discussed, we are matching up the talent Nazis, and I'm selecting Acid Ed, the original rat bastard, the meanest man in the world, the #1 heel right now in my federation, CCW. Just the antagonization alone to piss people off every single day is worth that pick alone.
I assume that means that CCW and CCW alone has the copyright on National Beatdown Day.
100%.
If we see beatdown days take place in any other Fed, you will be sued and we will acquire your talent because I need more people to beat down. I love that. I listen, giving up Price was a hard price, even though I got 2 great picks.
I thank you. That's amazing. I could not be
But the
happier
second
with-
you said, hey, I'm going to put the talent Nazis together, and I wasn't going to draft myself. So I was willing to make the deal. I love the idea that Ed and XS will be together. I love the Nazis.
You have Diggsy and Strife.
Let's
to
hope
play
nobody
off
gets
of.
that clip and runs it on social media of me saying I love the Nazis. This could blow up in a really big way.
We're going to come back to FedEx boards and find swastikas all over the place.
Right. I love that. And so super excited that we got to do that and flip it around that way. Appreciate that we've been able to pull deals that got us both the first 4 that we really wanted to get.
I couldn't be happier with my first 4.
It's awesome.
All right, Titus, don't break my fucking heart here. Let's go.
I maybe won't, because I think I need some comedy in this Fed, because I love comedy wrestlers. I need him. And for me, this guy is the best comedy wrestler. I think I'd love to work with him as Tony. I'd love to commish. He is the funniest guy I've ever played with in this game. So I am taking Homeless Jay.
Wow.
So I think a whole bunch of people had a bunch of names running through their head, and I knew as soon as you start, I was like, oh, this is Homeless Jay. And just so you know, Jay is on my board, and I wasn't worried that Mav or Lars would steal him. I wondered if you would try and sandbag him, and I might be able to get him a little bit later. And
I wasn't
as soon
risking
as you started talking, I was like, well, so much for that pick.
Yeah, I wasn't risking it. No way I was
he
going to
was
risk
talking
it.
about Naked Man. I'm going to be honest. I thought he was talking about Naked Man.
Look, Naked Man's good, but for me personally, Homeless Jay is the funniest guy I have ever RP'd with or read, ever, bar none.
No,
Listen,
I'm sorry. I didn't do a lot with Homeless Jay. I will, but I'm familiar with him, but not that familiar with him. So, and I honestly thought you were leaning toward Naked, because quite frankly, when it comes to the comedy guys, Naked has always been one of my favorite. Besides, he actually got Sean to boner today, which is like the most impossible thing you could ever do, because Sean doesn't boner for anybody, but he bonered for Naked Man. So go ahead.
So the only thing I'll say is the only person whose posts I laugh at more than his are Tony's. But it's a little different.
Yeah, great.
No, I think it's a great pick. I mean, the match against Ed alone
I was just going to comment on that match.
is just phenomenal.
Right.
I mean, that stands in and of itself. When you get prime OJ,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. Hoj is so good. I felt fortunate to get out of that match alive. Awesome. All right. Hey, Mav, we're back to you.
2 times.
2 times.
Is anybody else not hearing him?
We're hearing him.
I can't hear Jeff at all.
Yeah. I
There
personally
we go.
muted you.
All right. Sorry, I got the unstable connection thing flashing across my screen. I didn't hear anything.
He's
you said.
locked.
That's all right. Are you still with us?
Yeah, my camera's frozen on everybody.
That's okay. Don't worry about your camera being frozen. Just move ahead, and when your connection picks back up.
Oh, there we go. All right. So I've got the next two, right?
Correct.
You have the next two.
All right. So this next pick, the fourth pick for CWA, I know that I'm probably going to get flamed by a few people for my next pick. And you know what? I don't give two shits, because I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm picking who I'm picking. This person has been with me from day one as well. Every Fed I've been in. This person gets shit on quite often. And I know a lot of it's in fun. I know a lot of
Wait, literally?
Well, you know what I mean. A lot of people like to make jokes at this person's expense. You know, oh, well, this, that. Look, I'm just going to cut to the quick. With my fourth pick for the CWA, because this person is a workhorse, storyteller, engages everybody. And I don't give two shits about grammar and spelling. My number 4 pick is Faith.
Max nailed it. As soon as you started, Max was like, oh, it's got to be Faith, or got to be Wheels. And it is. Great pick.
And I'm going to tell you something. Now, the only reason I picked Faith over, and I really tossed this around, and I'm being completely honest here. I don't feel Eric gets credit where credit is due, and he was the 4th person I was tossing around as my number 1 pick, but I also knew nobody would do that, so that's why I let it slide to number 4, okay? And Liv is another person who engaged everybody. I just happen to have a preference for Faith versus Liv. And that's all it is. But Faith is my number 4 pick.
I totally support your preference for Faith over Liv. Yeah.
Now, that being said, if you guys would like to talk about that and go ahead and flame me for it, which is perfectly fine, I expect to catch some heat on it because that was probably a big reach. I picked her 4th. I picked Faith 4th because that's how much I would respect Eric, and I think everybody needs to show him just a tad bit more respect and stop cracking on him so much, but that's just me.
Right. We got you, Wheels.
So a little bit of a reach early for me, but I understand the pick. I think Eric dishes it out just as much as he gets it, and he enjoys that when he's on.
Yep.
And sometimes he's not on. And the game's better when he's around. There's no doubt.
I can tell you
to have him.
I can tell you from experience that when Faith is around, Storm is a better character because it gives me additional things to work with.
Mm-hmm.
What, just to bang someone?
Besides that, that's just funny ha-has that I do sometimes. But and like I said, when you're commissioning and you have Eric in your Fed and you have people in your Fed that aren't getting it. Okay, so like we've talked about in FedX right now, we're very stable oriented, which leaves the single guys out on their own a little bit. When I ran CWA, Eric was the one who would step up to those single guys and help them find something to do.
Right.
And that's why I value him high enough that I'm taking him at number 4.
Right. I don't fault the pick at all.
Right.
Now for my next pick, this one's again hard because
hold on real quick.
Sorry.
Jeff, did we miss Crowe being on the chat?
Hold on. We did. I feel terrible about that.
Go
Also, I'm doing
Crowe.
an awful job of checking the chat because I'm so focused on how slow this is going and that we're not going to get it done.
So maybe
But-
we can tell him to be ready, and then
Yeah.
Matt,
So
you
here's what
make
we're
it
going to do.
next pick?
When my next pick comes up, Kieran, we're going to bring you on before I make the pick so we can talk about your selection. So be ready.
Okay.
But until we do that, let's go back to Mav and find out who CWA is taken in the 5th round.
Okay, 5th round. And again, 2 names that I didn't think were going to be here that are still here. And this is hard for me. I'm going to hope that the other name makes it through another round. And with the 5th round pick, again, solid storyteller, solid workhorse. The man gave me ideas for days, not only as a commissioner, but with a character as Storm. He's just an amazing all-around player who every single time he got started, something happened, and he just faded away, which sucked beyond belief. But in his prime on any given day, the CWA with their 5th pick takes Emissary.
Not a surprise.
Now I just hope my next pick survives to another fucking round, but we'll see what happens. And to sing praises, I mean, it just, he is, you know, you guys have often mentioned that you think that Storm's Superstar run was his pinnacle, and that would never have happened if it wasn't for Emissary. Emissary was the entire driving force behind the Instant Karma initiative. I took his idea and I ran with it when he had to leave. And yeah, I mean, some of the best matches I've ever had were with him. Some of the best matches I've ever judged were with him. And I just, he's an amazing guy, and I wish he'd come back.
Right.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is I didn't see enough consistency. So for me, it's not a talent statement, but it's a consistency statement that he was farther down my board.
And that's what I wrestled with these next two, with this, because the other guy sitting behind him, if he makes it to me, and you'll find out who that is if he makes it, definitely had the consistency. But I know that you guys both like what you saw from Emissary. I don't think Tony knows a whole lot about Emissary.
I went back to do superstar title histories that was missing, and Emissary had quite a long run with the superstar title, and I got to read some of that stuff there, and it was top draw. I said on Discord immediately, like, we need to get this guy back. Like, yeah, he was great.
The mind, that guy's mind, I'm gonna tell you, that's just untapped potential. And like I said, I had to wrestle with this one because, like Jeff, there's the inconsistency issue, because real life comes calling on the poor guy every time he got rolling, but I had to take him.
Tim, you want to jump in there?
So as Lars as a character, I am beyond prideful that you're picking a guy that we, as in the Blood Brothers, found and coveted and took under our wing.
Yep.
We, as in Vigi, All Terror, and Omega.
Yep.
And Alistair Fiend. We all grouped up and found him as a talent in the regionals, and we brought him with us to the majors.
And
excellent pick. Obviously, it was on my board, not that far off. So I'm right there with you.
I would be remiss if I did not give credit where credit is due. And the reason I found Emissary in the first place was because of the brothers.
Yep.
All right, let's keep it
moving.
moving.
Emo, if you're out there, come find us.
Yeah,
please do.
No questions. Guys, let's keep this moving, and let's go to Show for their 5th pick, number 18 overall.
I cannot believe that some of the names are still here on my list. Like, I was expecting to be elsewhere, and I've got these names on my list, so I have to take them. So again, purely talent, you know, I've got to take the best talent available. And for me, this guy was, before Alan Scott, this guy was my favorite. I loved reading him every single time he posted.
Oh my gosh, are you taking dice?
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
Psycho Steve.
Yeah, I read everything this guy did, and I based a lot, like the more dickish side of Stoner Boy was based on Max, because I'd got influenced. So yeah, Max Entropy is my next pick.
Saw that coming.
Tony, I hate, or I'm sorry, Titus, I hate you.
Was that your second?
No, it was not, but he was definitely on my list in the next couple rounds, and I hate you very much.
I was going to say, because if you took Max, I was going to take Emissary. So fuck you.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it took 5 rounds for Max to come off the board.
Damn it.
I think, you know, from a writing talent standpoint, certainly could have been taken in earlier rounds, no question about it. I don't think the Boner run helped where he got picked. And I think
agree.
that's part of the reason he's still available for you right now. But if you think back to when he ran Talent Nazis or the original Bloodline Swerve or some of those big things that he did when it wasn't Boner time, this is a really good pick, Chris.
Max was a big deal. Like, and we're talking prime Max, not Boner Max. We're talking prime Max.
Right.
I can't believe he's there. Like, I have to take him.
In CyberSlam, I used Max as kind of my enforcer as a commissioner, calling my shots where I think he should just go wreck. And he did that very, very well for a long time.
Right.
And just like all of us, whenever we were active and on our game, as far as our commissioners run, he was always around. And you can see that with all four of us.
I agree.
Yep.
All right. Let's see if we can get
Max on or Weed on.
Right. So I don't see Max here, but I do see Weed. So let's go get Weed.
Because Max was on earlier.
I don't see him. I'm looking.
Okay.
No, I don't see him. But I do see Kieran Crowe.
Okay.
And I sure would like to get his take on being taken 3rd overall by Good Wrestling to join Genocide, Stan Daniels, and Royal Ryan Scott. I mean, we needed, it might be that I've only drafted good guys so far. Right? Kieran Crowe could be the next member of the, as the Australian Messiah. He could fit right in. I might have to start drafting people for them to fight with. Brendan, we got to get you to unmute.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, yeah, I was
Awesome.
muted. All right, so yeah, I just want to say a privileged top 3. That's like, I did not expect. I'm still a little bit shocked at some of the names we've got going. The only thing that disappoints me is that it's mainly for Weedman's work, and I wish as the Australian Messiah, I deserved as much of this as that I'm getting, but I'm going to work my way up to it. I want to apologise to Eric for being a bit of a shit before with Weedy. Weedy's, you know, he's a bit of an ass, can't really do much about that sometimes. And it's really sad that your Weedy pick got turned into Faith. I know that's a huge downgrade.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If we're gonna talk about being butthurt, I'm super butthurt that Crowe is not in the CWA, because that's home for Crowe as far as I'm concerned.
Turns out you didn't think it was that important.
All right, and a moment of honesty just before I go. Let's be honest. It's not Kieran Crowe that got drafted at 12. It's the chickens. The chickens moved me up 3 rounds easy.
100%.
Yes.
I super appreciate you coming on. Thank you. All right. That was great. And so we are back to Good Wrestling. Man, I'm staring at a board where a lot of people I projected going early are still available. And it would be easy for me to break with my plan and snatch one of those ones that's sitting there. But I also have a really good idea who I'm competing for. And clearly, I'm not competing for them. And I'm willing to gamble that I can get at least one of them through the next 2 picks. And I'm pretty sure this person I'm going to take won't make it through the next 2 picks. Can sell anything, can get over as a heel or a face, can be part of a great stable or a great tag team, can write amazing action, and cannot wait any longer to be picked. So with their 5th pick, number 19 overall, Good Wrestling selects Of Terror or Hugger, depending on how he's playing.
Oh God, I hate you so much.
You're
taking people. Oh, damn it.
You lose.
I lost.
And I think he's available. So why don't we hear how he feels about joining this all-star lineup in Good Wrestling?
I am super bummed right now. God damn it. Damn you.
Oh, guys.
Jeff's the only one taking everybody I want. Damn it.
I'm pretty sure your list isn't the only list I just did some damage to.
I'm sure it's not.
Oh, this is awesome. Appreciate it. quite a lineup on the good Fed.
I'm glad you were still available. I don't book this as a reach of any sort, just because some of the ones that I think we're going to go earlier didn't change that this was the right time to pick you and get you into the Fed. I'm really glad we could do this. And now I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I can have the H&H connection. I can have the good guys. I mean, we got stables and teams for days.
Man, for days, exactly. That's awesome. CL foil.
There we go. Any comments for your, the rest of the Fed so far?
No, I think the rest of the Fed looks awesome. I think actually you guys are all doing such an awesome job with this. It's really intriguing, the whole dynamic of it all. It's I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but yeah, no, it's awesome. And especially, yeah, I'm happy to be on the in the good Fed though. The good Fed is where it's at. So
you know it. Hey, who should I take in round 13?
Oh man.
Okay, think about it and send me a message.
Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, we'll push him back to panelists. That's awesome. And we, any other reactions before we move on?
Yeah, I hate you.
Yeah, Ov was one of those names that I was looking at thinking, oh, if he comes back around to me, like, I've got to take him. But obviously, yeah, straight away he's gone. Like,
I just want to be specific and say that I actually had Terror on my list. Not that I don't like Hugger, because who doesn't love Hugger, right? But I had Terror on my list, and you're killing me. You personally are killing me because you keep taking people on my list.
Hey, you made a wise choice to show love for a loyal player, which was probably a bit of a reach in taking wheels when you did, but it sent an important message to him, which is great for you, but it cost you a pick.
And you know what? And you know what? In all honesty, I would do that every time, because like I said, Eric and I have known each other as long as you and I have known each other.
Totally get it.
And I have sat as a commissioner, and I've sat as a CEO, and I've watched people interact with Eric, and I know people give him some shit, and I know he dishes out some shit, and that's the kind of guy he is. I don't feel like Eric gets the kind of respect that he actually deserves, because beneath all the other stuff, he's probably one of the most solid people I've ever played with, and I don't regret picking him for a minute, even if that means I lose a couple people in the process.
Right. Hey, so we are we're not done round 5 yet, and we've been on for an hour and a half. So we're going to keep our comments as concise as we can and pick this pace up a little bit.
Let's go.
Because otherwise we're definitely not getting this done. So over to Lars.
I'm going to rush to the toilet. Keep going.
Because this is a toilet pick.
I have to pee too, but I'm at least going to wait till you pick first, and then I'm going to run to the toilet.
I'm going to pick with my number 5 pick for the CCW. I'm going to pick the Kansas Kid.
Okay, now I'm going to the toilet.
Now you
Kansas, I love you. Bye.
So Tim, that's such a good pick. And
well, I knew that Mav was probably not going to value that pick. I know Titus would, and I know you would.
Yep.
But he's in my number 4 range, and I'm picking at number 5. I can't pass him up.
So he was in my number 3 range, and when I watched the way the pick started to unfold, I thought, oh, he might slide. And he was the one I was looking at going, I don't know if that gets around back to me.
So here's my thing. I haven't had as much experience with him, seeing him play on a daily basis until the reboot.
Right.
Since the start of the year. It's really opened my eyes to the kind of player and the kind of skills the guy has.
Yeah, totally agree.
And-
Completely capable.
And you wouldn't know it, but he's kind of a leader amongst the community, although he doesn't want you to talk about that.
So he is, and also what he does want you to know, he's not he's totally a dick.
Yeah, of course.
But did Lars take?
And I think he fits right in with Ed and XS and Strife and Diggsy Brown.
The dynamics of that Fed are going to be phenomenal.
Yep.
Who did Lars take?
Lars took the Kansas Kid.
Yeah, I will. Real quick, my comment is I don't believe I ever commissioned Kid. My biggest interactions with Kid were in GLCW and then FedX now. Great guy, great comedy writer, love his stuff. I can't read a play, even when and I'm going to be honest, even when he's ripping on me, I can't help but laugh at his stuff.
Right.
Good pick.
So back to back. This was hard.
Can I talk about the kid? Can I talk about the kid?
Go right ahead.
Sorry, because I commissioned him. I commissioned him with Show, and he came over with me when we moved over to FedX, and he helped keep my Fed alive. He was brilliant, always entertaining to play with and to commish. So yeah, he was another one on my list. That's like, how is he still here? So yeah, I'm glad to see him get picked.
Totally agree.
All right. My next pick, I'm really torn, and the funny thing is because they're tag team partners.
Well, if you pick one, we're going to take the other one.
That's right. I enjoy the one I'm going to pick better. It doesn't mean by much, but there also is this pride value of this pick in the number 6th pick of the CCW draft. I'm picking Omega.
Motherfucker. God damn it, Tim.
Yeah. You're right on schedule, Lars. I've got my board and that's right where it says.
One of the stronger faces left in the lower rounds for me. And I think he finds his place in the CCW to really be a face because there's really strong heels to go up against.
Yeah.
That will play off of him very well.
Right.
My comment that's my comment is a clap because Omega was next.
And he has teamed with Diggsy Brown. So
Sure.
I will claim that as a tag team.
There you go.
I'm super bummed that I missed out on Omega, but damn it, that was a good pick. Yeah, he was next up, coming up on my list. That's absolutely good pick.
I got an inquiry from Magnificent if you could come on and say something. So I replied no, because we don't have any time to give to people until they get drafted, because we're definitely going slower.
So
than we expect to go.
Omega's on the Facebook chat. Is he not on the?
Let me take a quick look. I do not see him here.
Okay.
All right. So we're back to me. So this is where I'm going to punt my draft board, because there's a player that clearly as a player deserves to be very high, and has slid, and you know, potentially a second round pick by my estimation, even based on who's drafting here, and has slid. Maybe the victim of the fact that Tony Robes made it into the first round. I think legitimately, I can say limited experience. I don't know if he remembers our paths crossing way back in the slam, but certainly more experience now. I can't justify, even though there are picks I want to take, he cannot be allowed to slide farther than this. He's way too talented for that. With the 6th pick, number 22 overall, good wrestling will take Naked Man.
Right there. Yep.
The butthurt is fixing to get real over here.
I can't believe the Naked Man made it 22 picks into the draft.
Yeah,
Certainly I had a much
amazing.
higher, but he's one of those ones. There were 2 that I said, hey, they're sliding, and I don't know how they're sliding. And let me see if they'll slide by Tim again. And Tim took one of them, and I'm taking the other one because I don't know how they slid as far as they did.
You're right.
And you know, just the interaction that I've gotten to have with him, with Ed, and a couple of private messages where he is just actually super interested in the stupidity of Ed's response to a ghost he can't punch. Like the way that he's interested in selling stuff that ridiculous, just it entertains me. I can't imagine how I stole him in the 6th round, but you guys should all call the cops.
Well, truth be told, when I said I didn't have a lot of comedy wrestlers on my list, that was the one guy that was definitely on my list. And I knew he wasn't going to slide to where I wanted him to slide, so I can't be that disappointed. But
right.
Although he probably would have been bored in my Fed because he probably would have had a lot of people to play with it.
I think one of the things that I really looked at when I decided, like, hey, I'm not going to go with my board, which had somebody else very clearly as my next pick, and take him, was that I looked and said, Kieran Crowe, Stan Daniels, Roy Ryan Scott, and of Hugger are all the perfect dynamic to play off or with him, and Gino will play the big ideas, but Naked Man will fill in the 400 posts it takes to make those ideas happen.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pass. No question. All right, so let's keep it moving. Chris, we're back to you.
No messing about here because again, I'm shocked. There's a couple of names here that I cannot believe are here. This guy was brilliant for me in the early stages of Stoner Boy. He came and slummed it down in the regionals and pretty much took me under his wing, and brilliant to play with. I wish he could come back. I'm going to take the sidekick Amp.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Nice.
So I thought he might have slid and I might have been able to reunite High Voltage, but good for you for taking him.
Yeah, I had to.
Let's
we miss you, Amp. If you're out there, we know you signed up. Bring it on.
We do wish we would see you. I think that's one of those picks you just look at and go, I'm not sure where or when, but he's going to go. And I see a lot of his value in association to specific things, and good for you because you played with him differently than I did, because you had him in a scenario that was different than I did. You had more value in him than, and I really thought, you know, maybe in round 9 or 10, I could steal Amp. And here you are in the 6th round going, that's not how this is going, which is
yeah,
awesome.
no way. I can't believe he's there. So yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good pick. So
Mav, we are back to you for 2.
Well, I'm about to knock them both out of the park with the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the 6th pick for CWA. And again, I'm just going to preface the next 2 with the same words. Workhorses, dependable, story drivers, storytellers, can play heel, can play face. Their value to me is important to me. If people don't like my next 2 picks, that's too bad. I don't care. They are the people. If you've noticed my draft, there's a trend. These are all people that I've always took with me, and every single time I've brought them with me, my Feds have always been successful. So with the 6th pick, I'm taking my Blitzkrieg tag team partner. And I know this is probably, again, maybe people thinking it's a reach, but I'm going to tell you this. Very, very severely underrated. Severely underrated. I'm taking with the 6th pick for the CWA. I'm taking Techno.
Nice. And I think we have Techno online, so we'll bring him on in a second.
Nice.
While we're getting ready to bring him on, do you want to tell us who your next pick is as well?
Yes, I will, because my next pick is also same scenario. I feel personally that this individual is somewhat underrated. Again, always been there when I needed them. Always been in my Fed when I had to have them. Always interactive. Always helping my Fed to be a better Fed. With the 7th pick, I take Angelica.
Good for Angelica. I I'm a fan. I do see it as a bit of a reach, but obviously not for you because you made sure you got her. Whereas I thought maybe she would slide a little more, and clearly I was wrong. But great pick. And so
I will say this, and again, like I said, I know I might catch a little flack for this because there's a name on my list I'm surpassing again for these two, because CWA and NGPW would not have been what they were if it wasn't for the foundation I'm laying again with these same people right now. I did not make CWA great. I didn't make NGPW great. These people made those feds great.
It's awesome. Hey, we've got Techno with us. Rick, you there? We can't do dead air. Gino's not on the podcast. We could be sued.
Okay, I'm here.
Awesome. Hey, so you just got picked. No surprise. Maverick jumped and got you in the 5th round or 6th round? 6th round.
Yep.
How do you feel about the Fed that's getting put together all around you?
It's pretty damn good. Like there's a lot of names that I'm not really surprised with that Maverick's actually picked. You know, like he's stated on many occasions, you know, he picks all those names to follow him wherever he goes because he likes to you know, have that certain name base around him. So that's really great.
Get out of here.
I'm not gonna lie, you know, like I was actually sort of hoping maybe Titus might think of my name because that's where it all began for me, for Techno. Che was the first of the Fed. And it would have been good to sort of go back to the roots. But yeah, I'm happy as hell to be.
You were definitely on my list, Tech, but I've had some talent drop to me.
All understandable, Titus. All understandable.
Might have to talk trade later though, Chris, because you might want to reunite Blitzkrieg.
Techno's still got it. He can still bring it. He can still put on a great match.
100%.
There's no doubt.
True, very true.
Congratulations.
If I have that right opponent and I've got that right mindset, you know, I will go out and beyond to, you know, help shine that person on. I'm more than willing to work whatever it takes. You know, like I'm still waiting for that one chance to have a one-on-one against Tony Rose. I reckon.
Get to the back of the queue, buddy. This is Tony here, just so you know. Titus has gone away.
Oh, yeah,
Get to the back of the queue, Techno.
I'm at the back of the queue. I get it.
I'll work, you know, we get so less opportunities than we had before for cards. And that plays a big role into only having 2 cards a month.
Yeah.
But it'll happen, guaranteed. It'll happen.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it at all. You know, I'll just keep plugging away and, you know, picking at Tony, annoying him. He'll keep calling me thirsty and all that sort of stuff. I don't mind.
That's the point.
It gets pretty hot here, hot over here, so you know, I need a few drinks. It's all good.
All right, Matt, jump in with your comment, and then
I just want to say real quick. So we can continue on. You know, a lot of people think, you know, Bloodline, oh, it's just a stable. But I'm going to tell you something. There is a sense of family with Bloodline. I'm not even joking. These people have been my online family for a while, and there was no way in hell I was good. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I hadn't got him, I would have traded to get him because Techno is literally my brother from another mother.
Yes, sir.
So, Tech, I got to let you slide, but make sure you're listening because I got to share a little something.
Absolutely, sir.
So 2 rounds ago, it occurred to me that there was no way Mav wasn't going to draft Techno. And I thought long and hard about burning the pick and making him pay through the nose to get Techno. I really thought about it.
And you know, see, and this is the part about this draft that y'all don't get is that Tim and Jeff know me so well that he knows I would have traded the farm to get Techno.
Right. I thought about it. But that's I think it's a good pick. I think it's an interesting one. I think picking up Angelica at the same time, but we want to keep moving.
Yep.
So let's go back to Chris in show and find out who the last person taken before the next great pick for good happens.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I cannot believe this person's here. I thought my Fed was going to look very different right now. I thought I'd build a strong Fed. but I didn't think I'd have the people I've got now, and I've got to take him. He's there, Benny Blair. He has to go now. Like, he has to.
I had you pegged as soon as you started talking. I'm like, oh, Benny, that's Benny.
Good pick. Excellent pick. Titus, I got to give you kudos. You're doing pretty good so far, except for that first round pick.
Everything, he's going to have all these great players to build up and to get all his storyline. Look at the player base he's got there to feud with. And
you know what? I'm not going to lie. As being one of your members in your new Fed, I'm excited. I'm excited. We do. That's pretty good.
All right. The only thing I will share is I thought there were a couple of quick, clever comments, which is why would you draft somebody who's going to Benny quit? Which I think was pretty smart. But let's go. We are in the 7th round, the 27th overall pick. Good wrestling. Still see so much talent available on the board.
Yeah.
Really hard for me to look past this person. Again, I think this person works in either way. I do think that they lean a little bit more comedy, but I'm okay with that. I think the entertainment value is massive. I think the fact that they fit in the superstar picture at all times means that, probably they should have been picked by now. I don't know how we get this far without going to them. I'll take Valentine.
Good pick.
Yeah, very good pick.
Also,
I love and again, this is not a slight on him whatsoever when I say this. I love Valentine, funny as hell, great competitor. Wasn't on my list, but I still love the guy.
So I saw Val as a guy who could have gotten scooped if I tried to wait much longer. And if that's not how you saw him, I think you made a mistake.
Yeah, you're proud.
And with that, I will turn it over to back-to-back picks from CCW.
Mr. Top 10.
Yeah.
The maximum carnage to go with my already strong heel Fed.
You're welcome, right? You know that, right?
Yes, thank you. So it matches up the old guard tag team back together, and it plays very well into my next pick, and I'm grateful, so grateful. I can't believe this name is still on, but I don't know if I doubt Carnage is on, but with the 7th pick, CCW picks Carnage.
Damn it!
With the 8th pick, CCW picks Johnny Rude.
Fuck!
That's a good pick. So I want to commend you for picking Johnny. And I want to tell you guys, just like in the early rounds when we talked about all the builder credentials that went along with the writer, you just picked the guy who created the King of Wrestling. Like the whole thing.
Yeah. The ideas, helps out with the admin piece of it, is willing to bounce shit off of, on a regular basis, will help the Fed better, make the Fed better, and build the group.
No question. That's such a good pick.
Well, I have to say for both your picks, yes, Carnage was obviously on my list because he's another mainstay in most of the Feds I ran, and that sucked. But and this is my fault because Rude has been he's been at the top of my list, and I can't believe he slid as far as he did.
Agreed.
The history that I have with Rude, when we get near the end, we might be talking a trade again because I don't know if I can function without Rude.
I just want to slow the chat room's roll. Johnny Rude is a fucking awesome value at number 8.
Are you kidding me? Let me show you. You know what? I know you can't read this from here. Johnny Rude has been number 4 on this list the entire time, and the fact that nobody picked him, I kept watching him slide and slide, and I tried to wait it out, and I made it. But
the reason you hate him, you hate him is what makes him so good.
You hate him because he is so good. Yes.
Hey, if anybody's got the the feds actually laid out as feds. I've only got mine, and then I've got it by round instead of by fed. I know that Colt is asking if we could see it while it's going on.
I've just got mine. I can post it on the general channel in Discord. Maybe you all can do the same.
Yeah, that's right. We could definitely do that.
I'll do that right now with mine.
Awesome. All right. And I'll just say, look in Discord, and then we will move on because I think it's back to me.
Good wrestling is up, sir.
All right. I'm gonna steal here. And I'm gonna steal in a big way. Like, I know that everybody knows this. I know when I pick, they'll go, yeah, of course. But then I'm about to make this pick in the 8th round. I don't know how this happens. So I'll take the best builder in the game, who had one of the best runs we've ever seen with his commish character, because I don't know how he makes it here otherwise. With our 8th round pick, Good Wrestling will take Lars.
God damn it.
Awesome.
My next two picks, if they had gotten to me, were going to be Rude and Lars.
Snooze, you lose, man. Don't know what to tell you.
I'm commending you on Lars and humongous value with those 2 picks. Absolute huge value with those 2 picks.
Sounds like a hell of a Fed.
Yes, it does.
I'd be happy to rumble with it, no doubt.
I see so many storyline potentials in here. I'm excited that you were available. I don't really know how to do the math. Everybody's going, look, I got this person who can help an admin. I'm like, the greatest admin is sitting right there on the board. I got it all. And I'm super excited about it. Glad to have you, Lars.
Thank you.
All right. Chris, we are back to you. Show is up.
Okay, I was expecting to draft this guy earlier because I was expecting a lot of these people on my Fed right now to have already been gone. So I'm going to take him now. Never interacted with any of his other characters, really. Only ever interacted with him as a Power Base member. But I have had so much fun being his tag team partner during this reboot. So I am going to take Maverick Dawson with my next pick.
Now
keeping it together, boy.
Now
That's right.
Titus is going to draw my goddamn rat. Damn you.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
Yeah,
That's okay.
keep the new breed together.
You just made my next 2 picks very easy, but that sucks. Dawson was definitely on my radar.
Yeah, I thought I would have to be picking him earlier, but yeah, he's dropped me all this way, so awesome.
So absolutely. I will say, I always knew I was going to chase Lars, and so I didn't pick Maverick, right? Like that was, but I did, because I know everybody wants to know. I did have him ranked many spots higher than Tony Ropes.
I will take that. Like, not Tony the character. I will take that as Chris the person. Like, yeah.
It's not interesting if it's not Tony the character, Chris.
Well, it's like credit where it's due. I've just drafted him. Like, yeah, like one day hopefully I can be talked of in the same breath as, you know.
I think the fact that you just drafted somebody who can be supporting Tony, be a heel, be building a heel style, and figure out how to build a non just basic dynamic with somebody like Cole Styles tells you everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think something you said today in the Discord, Jeff, to one of my comments about the reboot for me being, and I use the word great.
Right.
You said maybe not great, but it tells me where I'm at with how I feel like I'm playing and bouncing off the current roster.
Yes. Because
I don't think as a player I've ever gotten the chance to interact with as many top talents as we do right now.
Oh yeah. This is a jacked Fed.
So for me personally, it's been great.
Right.
So, and I think that plays a huge part in the interest and the reboot and everything.
And I was more being a dick because I thought you said Tony was great since
No.
So like I wasn't trying to poo-poo on the reboot. I was really trying to crap on Tony.
No, trust me, there's many things that could be done a hell of a lot better. And we're always trying to do that. So
right. All right. Let's keep moving. Mav, you've got back-to-backs. Let's see who's left on your list.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I just make this quick. We're about to have the Tim trifecta because with my, let me count up here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With my 8th pick for the CWA, while I do value Dawson and I understand Lars role played, but I see Lars as more of a commission. I feel like I'm coming out with the best value at number 8 because I'm taking Lasher for the CWA.
awesome.
Lash, I mean, don't
I
get
have
me
so
wrong.
many douchebag comments, but I'm just not going to mention it.
Wait, I didn't hear you. What was that?
That's fine. Tim here heard me, which is all that I really needed to make sure.
Yeah.
I like Dawson. Obviously, I like Lars. I mean, hell, I modeled my whole commish career, mostly on Lars, But Lasher, I had a chance to commish with, and I liked Lasher. He was one of my favorite characters, and I feel like I got a good value with that picking Lasher. With the number 9 pick, this ought to make Lasher happy, I suppose. Maybe it won't. I don't know. And I know, again, I'm probably going to get bagged on this one too. But
I'll bag you before you pick her if you want.
You know exactly who I'll tell you what. You ready for this, guys? Watch this. Jeff, who is my number 9 pick?
Eve Riley.
Fucking A. That is why this man knows me better than anybody else here. With the number 9 pick, I'm taking Eve Riley.
Yeah. You will now find Mavs Fed on Twitter.
But you know what though? That's the thing though, is I don't think Eve was ever. I don't think Eve ever did that.
Listen, I teased, but the truth is Eve was a strong character. Mike wrote Eve well. I liked Eve a lot during the Hot Girls time at the top of the tag ranks.
Yep. Some of the work that I appreciated from Mike with Eve came when we did the Legion angle with her realizing that it was Storm under the mask and the interactions there. I've always liked his style. I mean, how do you not love somebody who runs around calling you Uncle Jason all the time? It's just me. I don't know. But anyway, those are my 2.
Well, and there was some stuff there that definitely won you over, including just the whole beacon angle with Storm and all of that. So I get it. That's not a surprise to me.
Right.
Let's go back to show for the 34th pick, 9th round.
Okay, my next 3 picks are going to be personal preference. I'm pretty sure if I left them, they'd drop a little bit further, I think. But these are going to be personal preference for me as a commissioner. And this one is going to be the Great Lotus.
That's the first time you've reached and stolen somebody where I'm like, I know Chris is taking this person and they are next on my list, so he can't, you prick.
Yes. Thank God I took him then. Yeah, my next few picks are going to be like that. He basically, with Carnage gone, and one of the great things about Carnage that everybody said was like, he was a workhorse. Great Lotus was like that. He would post every day, trying to get everyone involved as much as he can, working with very little at the time, to be honest with you. He made everyone circle around him because he was the best at it. Won OWC twice, back to back. I know the talent wasn't as great as it used to be, but
Sure.
he can only beat what's in front of him.
Still talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No brainer for me, the Great Lotus.
Great choice.
Yeah, that's a personal preference to me. Some people might think he's a region commissioner.
I'm sorry. He said, I didn't catch that. Great Lotus, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I was like, never heard of him.
Probably wouldn't have done. But that's for me as a commissioner. He's great for me.
I had him flagged as a top 10 pick for you. and was eyeballing him like, how do I snake that one out? So I don't know that I would take him top 10, but I would to stop you from getting him, because some of the ones I will take top 10, you're not going to take no matter what.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job. All right. So I think we are back to me in round 9, pick 35. So there's a number of really good options here. And the great news is each time we get here, I know the only pick between me and my next pick is Tim. And the only thing I need to know is what pick of the two that I want, there's no chance Tim will take. And he's making it easy for me here, which is going to allow me to do something. I don't know that this would get by Tim. So I'll take the first one because I'm sure it shouldn't get by him. I want him in his prime. I want him at his meanest. I want another guy who can run heel at the best of the best. Guys, I'll take Vigilante.
God damn son of a bitch. You know, you're making me add names to my goddamn list because you keep taking everybody I want.
Yep. Nice pick.
That's
Ninth round.
That
Vigilante.
is, dude, that's,
Nice pick.
honestly,
I had to separate my heart from my head on that one.
I believe it.
He would have been earlier.
Right. So this is
gotta
right about where I think he should have gone. Maybe a little late, but I'm looking at you going 2 picks. Do I trust he'll go 2 more picks? I do not.
Right.
I was hoping he would slide one more time. He was actually no joke. He was actually next up on my list because everybody knows I love Biggie.
Yeah. Hey, Mav,
Yes.
screw you.
Now, hey man, I love you. I'm sorry, dude. I can't blame you on that pick. I would have done, if I was in your shoes, I would have took him too. As soon as you started talking, I knew you were going to pick him.
I need some super heels, and he sure fits that bill.
Viggy was one of the best.
All right, CCW, you are on the clock with the 36th and the 37th pick.
So I'm stuck in a interesting position. I can either lay down what I think is the best face tag team
I know who you mean.
that I've ever seen, or I can go off the rails and pick 2 other solid picks that divert from that. All right, so I'm looking at my Fed, and I'm obviously seeing I need some face help.
Oh shit, you're gonna pick my next 2. Watch. Go ahead.
But then again, I'm like, well, these other 2 are legendary in and of itself, but they're just not necessarily, they don't fit that face. They don't fit the tag team aspect of it. So I'm really, really torn.
I think you should take the 2 that you're the other 2. Don't take the faces because I know who you're gonna take, and it's gonna break my fucking heart.
But I think the other 2 are going to be around. So
That's the challenge.
I'm picking the heroes, even though Acid Ed is in my Fed as
It's
well.
all right. We'll make it work. I'll do double duty.
That's
Nighthawk
and Gilgamesh.
and
Yeah.
Gilgamesh.
Can't pass that up.
Hey, listen, I got to tell you, first of all, a Gilgamesh pick is a Marlowe pick, right? Like everybody gets this. Bestseller, best angles, best story, best work rate. So strong. And as faces go, those are clearly top tier faces for us. Love that pick. Love that Randy and I will get to do it together, Tim. I love that you're using the wraparound to be a guy who puts tag teams in his Fed.
Yeah, I was just thinking he's
Right.
got like a couple of strong
Yeah.
tag teams there.
I got the strongest tag teams.
Yeah.
I have the heroes against the talent Nazis.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I have Johnny XS and Strife. I have
the
old guard.
BFFs, the talent Nazis, the heroes. Like you are putting a tag division together.
Mhm.
Love it.
Okay, I'm not going to bullshit right now. I'm willing to throw this out here, and I don't know if it'll float. I'm willing to give up my #1 pick to get Nighthawk and Gilgamesh.
Oof.
Done.
Oof.
Done.
Folks, you just heard it. The heroes, Nighthawk and Gilgamesh, traded straight up for Alan Scott.
Wait, hold on.
Done.
Hold on. Hold
Done.
on, hold on, hold on. Let me think about this veto. What? Come on, no.
Done.
If I
Chris
could
is sitting there like, all of a sudden it occurs to him, wait, I've racked up players. I could have traded for Alan? Hold on. And Tim just
Done.
sniped him.
No, done. It's
Oh
done.
my God.
Wait, is somebody going to veto it?
No.
No,
Come
I'm not
on.
going to veto. No.
Okay, so then I can say what I'm about to say. I would reach through this camera and fucking kiss you right now.
Now, I don't get it. That means I get 15 players instead of 16?
That's right. You'll be down one.
Okay.
But you just got Alan Scott with fucking.
That's fine. That's
Okay,
fine.
look, hey, let me
You just added Alan Scott to Diggsy Brown.
I have Alan Scott, Diggsy Brown, Johnny XS, Strife, Acid Ed, Omega, Kansas Kid, Johnny Rude. I'm kicking all your asses.
Okay,
I don't know about that. You want to have a talk? I don't know about that.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me say this, and this is true, and Jeff will vouch for. And you know this, Tim. You know this already. Alan Scott being with the #1 pick, you're dumb if you don't take Alan, and we all know this. Okay, Nighthawk has. I mean,
no. The face value of that tag team is going to carry the yin and the yang.
Absolutely. And people have to understand, of all of the, I love Alan Scott. I love Austin James. I love Joe. There's not a character that Jeff doesn't run that I don't love. But my first and foremost has always and will always be Nighthawk. Because there's something about the way Jeff writes with Nighthawk that draws the best out of me as a role player.
Yep.
I just love having him in my Fed because I feel like Nighthawk is a driving force. And I know some people are probably going to be like, you're insane. You gave up. I don't give a shit. I just got, not only did I get Nighthawk, I got Gilgamesh, which and in my mind, the second best player Randy has ever run. Gilgamesh is fucking incredible.
And
so in my mind, I just robbed you blind.
You got all that admin help.
Yes, I do. I am so happy right now. I love you, brother. Thank you so much.
Hey, we're both dancing. That's good.
That is fantastic. I love that trade went down. I love that Chris didn't like that trade went down. The whole thing was awesome.
I am so stoked about my CWA right now.
So here's the deal. And I let's give this some observation, right? It's really clear that Eric loves Nighthawk, but knew he could get him later. So Nighthawk goes in round 9 or 10, depending on which order you put the two of them in, because they were taking as wrap rounds. You had 9 other rounds. You should have. I told you when we were planning, I was like, hey, the only person who's going to compete with you for Nighthawk is Tim.
You and me right here, brother.
And hey, and I'm happy. It puts a stable.
I bet you are.
It puts a stable back together with Lasher, Nighthawk, Gilgamesh.
That's right.
Huge base stable for you.
That's right.
And while and you also have to remember something that nobody else is bringing up. While I may not have the complete core of Bloodline, I still have 3 Bloodline in this Fed as well.
Right. Huge deal.
Absolutely love it. Thank you very much. Let's continue.
Look at that deal, guys.
You're welcome, Titus. You're welcome, Titus.
Welcome.
And Eve Riley, by the way.
Yeah.
In that same stable.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. It's an interesting place I find myself in now. I got the pick, and then I've got to go through Chris and Mav. So I'm thinking about who they're not valuing, who they're not taking. I think who I want to take runs all the way through those picks. I don't think I have to worry. I think there's a really good chance, in fact, that my next 2 picks run all the way through those picks, which leaves me to just deal with Tim when they come back around. So I'm going to start thinking about the characters that they may have some interest in, that they might be looking at. Guys who can write, guys who can get stuff done. I think it's time in round 10 for me to take Cannibal.
Yeah.
Good
Definitely.
pick. A solid pick. Not
He was,
gonna
he was
lie.
right. He was right there. Yep.
All right, we will turn it, unless you guys want to comment, I'll turn that over to Chris.
Absolutely.
No, I think it's a good pick.
No, Cannibal. I had limited exposure to Cannibal in CSlam and in Wrassle. I've had more exposure to him now in Federation X than I have previously, and I love. I mean, obviously, I love his stuff. He motivate. I mean, I turned a stupid comment in a dirt sheet with him into an entire angle with Storm. So, I mean, he was definitely on my list. And great pick.
Onto my pick.
The chat's still blowing up about the trade. So
my pick.
I believe it's your pick, sir.
Again, this one is another one that's personal to me, so I'm gonna take Bina, who was
nice.
Unyielding babyface, to the point of being naive and dumb, but it was brilliant. Great for all the heels in my team to work with. Again, top level. I think the fact that he's not around is probably why he's dropped further. If he was around, he'd probably have gone a lot higher, I reckon.
Mhm.
So I'll take Bina with my next pick.
It's a great choice. It's a really solid pick. Starting to get into those value pick guys. Our boards are much more divergent at this point. Less
Mhm.
battling, although there's still some of it going on.
Oh shit! Oops, sorry. I just noticed somebody on my list I completely forgot about. Sorry, go ahead.
We don't have to. You're up.
Yeah, you next too.
Wait, did I fall asleep when you two? Who did you two pick?
Who?
Tim took the heroes. Then I took Cannibal. Then he took Bino.
Oh, because I forgot about the trade. My bad. My bad. I forgot about. Okay.
You made the biggest trade of the night and you don't remember it?
No. I was. Remember, I have ADD. Okay, so I'm looking at my list over here, trying to figure out some things to fill in, and I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Okay, so with my next two picks, I'm going to make this next pick simply because I missed out on one of my favorite versions of this person. But this is clearly my second favorite version of this person. And with the, where are we at now? 11th pick for CWA now. I'm going to take Amareza.
All right. Amareza Entropy. I don't even need to reach for my board.
I know you don't, but I have to have Max in some form or another. I like the Dark Knight, but I like Reza better. I find her to be more grounded and but more of a catalytic character, and I like her character a lot. So I go with Reza. Don't what me, Bill. I'm not gonna not.
I like that Bill knows that this is an issue. Good for you, Bill.
And then following that up, the next person that I'm going to take, again, solid player. He can do comedy. He can do serious. He can creep you the fuck out if you really pay attention to what he's doing. He's been in my Fed several times before. He's also part of Bloodline and will add to the stable. I'm taking Elisa the Prophet.
Profits off the table. All right. Hey, so some astute commentary from Valentine on the chat on Facebook, who said Alan Scott's probably thrilled that he got traded out of that Fed. You are not wrong, Valentine. You are not wrong. He'd probably take a lower pay rate to work there.
Well, you know, and I get it. I get Alan. I get Alan's, you know, honest Alan. I get Alan. And the truth is, I know I'm drafting a lot of people he doesn't like. So in a way, it works out for me because we all we have different takes on the female wrestlers. So
he likes them just fine. Just stop asking them to pretend they can beat them up.
There you go. I'll be right back. Sorry. Go ahead and go on without me. I'll be right back.
No problem. We are back to you, Chris.
Okay, I think the next person I wanted to take is actually going to drop. And there's a name on here that I think I have to think about tactically. But even if he stays on my roster and he doesn't end up getting traded, then I've still got a solid player. And also a great admin, top admin. So with my next pick, I'm going to take Osiris.
Oh, you dick!
Breaking up the Stallions.
Yeah, who breaks up the Stallions? What kind of guy?
Well, I mean, I'm open to trades if you.
We'll talk. That'll have to go slow burn. I'm pretty pleased with most of my picks. I don't know that I'm looking to deal yet. But that's a good pick. Osiris is a great seller, great worker, the admin side of the game. Man, I can't fault that pick at all. All right.
Yeah, even if I don't trade him, he's a solid player to have on my roster.
100%.
Yeah.
We are back to me. And so Good Wrestling is starting to look at the I know who I'm taking around 15 and 16. So we're starting to look at the last 4 picks that Good Wrestling is going to make. And as I look at it, there are some very clear gaps, people who should be here. And this is going to surprise some people. Like, I'm letting people drop because I want their other alt, not the most popular alt, like just how it fits in putting a Fed together. And so I'm actually going to look at this. I don't think I'm in a place anymore where I'm stealing anything away from people because I'm putting my last 4 picks in to round out 2 really critical things. And so I'll share with you guys while we wait for Mav to come back. If you look at who I picked, you can find one alt of every person I've spent the most time playing with, right? Loyalty, commitment, just good friends. And if I got to put a Fed together, I want to have them in it. And yeah, I've added a couple of people that I don't know and didn't get to do a lot of that with, in people like Naked Man and Cannibal. But I think they're going to be happy with my friends because I got some really great ones. And so I'm going to round out my next 4 by making sure I cover those friends off and really have them stocked up. And so I can't have a Fed that doesn't have Randy in it. And so I'll take Aaron Action.
Solid. Yep.
And we'll turn it over to you, Tim.
I haven't got to see Aaron Action, but after hearing Johnny XS talk about him, I'd really love to.
So if you read that's who Johnny beat in the King of the Street fight. And it was a pretty close match. Like, they were both in the finals and they both worked to get there. And I mean, classic Randy, right? You think Marlowe's great. It's the same writer. It's just maybe not the same character.
Yeah.
There's a bit of an acquired taste to playing Dusty Rhodes, right?
So I'm happy I went with, go ahead, Matt.
I'm just real quick. I'm sorry. Who did I missed it because I had to run out real quick. Who did Titus take?
Osiris.
You okay, well, damn, so much for that. Okay. And then you took Jeff. I'm sorry, just
Aaron Action.
Aaron Action. Okay, thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No. I'm happy I skipped the 2 that I thought I was gonna miss out on before, and I'm gonna hedge my bets and skip them again because I just think they're gonna fall. And I'm very happy that my 2 last picks turned into the #1 overall pick. I couldn't be more pleased.
What a trade.
I could not be more pleased.
I bet.
Who wouldn't trade a 1st round pick for a 9th and a 10th round pick?
You're welcome, Titus. You're welcome, Titus. But I am going to add some diversity in the CCW locker room and pick with the number 10th pick, Ola Chico.
You prick. That's the one I was hoping would slide around to me next. Good for you.
Okay. Ola, I hope you return someday. That would be awesome.
Man, I was late rounding him. I'm watching him slide. I'm like, he's off. And Tim was the only one I was worried about taking him, and he did. That's such a strong pick, Tim.
This next one's pretty tough too, considering who's on the board still. But I think I have to go with Hype.
Nice pick.
There's my number 11 pick.
Good pick. Excellent pick.
Johnny XS matches up very well there with that.
Just spin down and see if I can find them there. Those are good picks. I really do wish that you didn't take Ola. That's the first time that my game plan has broken down.
We haven't got much longer.
I know. And I was seeing the slide and I thought it was real. It does free me up, and I'm going to reveal to you guys when we get to the end. I did something very intentional when I was planning the Fed, and most of this has come together except for Naked Man and Vigilante, who both slid more than I thought they were going to. So I did something really intentional, and I'm going to do it again. I think that the other two that I want are going to come back to me. And so I'm going to look here for real value, players that have that impact power, that are, real strong, have a lot to deliver, and who are sliding. And so knowing that I've got, a pretty good run here, I'm gonna go out on a limb and take somebody that I didn't know particularly well, but I know they're writing. Our run-ins didn't go particularly well, but they're a really, really talented player, and I'm a little surprised that they're going to be available at this point. In the 12th round, I'll take Holy Evil.
Good pick on my board. No surprises there.
He was a bit before my time. I never saw Holy Evil.
Yeah, I think having Holy and Naked in the same place, there's no telling what could happen in the Fed. And I've got, if you look at my early rounds, I've got a group of guys that can and will sell absolutely anything.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to play to that strength. Chris, we are back to show.
Okay, well, my original thought, he's dropped this far, so I'm thinking he's probably going to drop to the next round as well. And there's a name on here I should probably take because I know we're drafting characters, but the fact is the character's run by Jeff, and with all these great writers on here, I need a Jeff character here. So I'm going to take Austin James with my next pick.
Wait, did you get the Kansas Kid?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. That would have been a thing. But don't you worry, Austin James, he's everybody's hero.
Yeah, I think just the level of writers on that team, and I needed to, and it's maybe not your premier character, your best character, but I'll take him.
I love that character. He's making a return in 2021. It's guaranteed.
It's just shot a load in his pants.
Good pick.
Thank you.
Good pick.
All right, Mav, you have back-to-back picks in the 12th and 13th round.
Yes, I do. And give me a minute here because I'm having to rework a couple things here. So I can tell you right now, let's see, where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4. My 13th pick. My 13th pick, I'm taking Maximum Michael Gold.
That's a good pick.
I'm kind of surprised he slid down that far. Bear with me here a second. Actually, I am going to go ahead and go with what I have right now. My next pick for number 14, because I don't have a lot of comedy characters in here, and you know what? I'm partial to the guy in his other form as well. I am taking Dr. Abortion.
There we go. Obviously a good pick.
MMG I've had before in my Fed. I think Dr. A's been in my, I'm pretty sure he was in at least one Fed with me, but I just like Naked Man, and you know what? I need a comedy guy, so.
All right. Any comments before we go on to show?
I would just say he's got to pick up Alistair Fiend now.
Right. It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Because it's a backpack deal.
Right.
Well, why would you say that out loud? Gee, anybody who wants him, go ahead and take him now.
No, it's a tandem deal.
Right.
MMG's got baggage.
We're not going to fight you for him. He belongs.
He belongs there.
Right. All right, Chris. Show is up with the 50th pick.
Yeah, with the 50th pick, and some people may be surprised at this. And I know his reputation was one where great writer, absolutely great writer, but he never hung around a lot. He'd end up going into bouts of inactivity. But my experience with him as a commissioner was great. So with this pick, I'm going to take Blake Orion.
Oh, wow.
I had him. He had a reputation for not hanging around, but he was a great writer. And when I first started commissioning TWF, I got him into TWF and he was my main guy for 2 months, RP champ, everything. And then Show came calling because obviously he was active, and he wanted to go to Show. I said, you probably shouldn't, because the commission isn't going to be able to motivate you. Like I seemed to get him, and I could motivate him into being active. I was like, the commissioner ain't going to get you. He's like, I need to be in a national though. I'm obviously doing really well. Went to the national. 2 weeks later, he was back down in the regionals after being inactive. And it was really, really disappointing because he was so good for me. He was brilliant for me. Such a good writer.
I think that's the experience we had when he dabbled in FedEx as well. He came over, I want to say it was either Sponsor Wars or maybe one of the King of Wrestlings. And for like 2 weeks, I was like, holy crap, we should hold on to this guy. And then he just died.
Yeah, he needs to be motivated. I think he needs to have things fed to him to keep him interested, and that was one of the things I was good at because he had a great run with me.
Right. All right. So are we back to me again? We are. Round 13. I've only got 2 more picks before I've already got spots filled. And I've got 2 people that I don't have a plan for that really need to be in my Fed. And so I'm going to do these. And I think, you know, the orders probably doesn't matter at this point. I don't think I'm fighting Lars for either of them. So in the 13th round, good wrestling will take. I mean, how could I live without Bruce? I'll take Mr. Conservative. Such an underrated character for him. And we'll get some good heat going. No question about it.
100%.
And there's silence, so I don't expect that Chris knows much about him. Mav, did you know that run at all, Mav?
A little bit, yeah. But for me, not enough, unfortunately. But I knew that. I didn't have a good run at all at any time with that. So sorry, I'm looking at my list.
Gotcha.
It doesn't surprise me at all. You find a way to get Bruce in your Fed.
I had plans on plans on plans to make sure that was going to happen. I'll let you get Diggsy in round 1 so I can get the guys I want because I'll get Bruce later on.
You didn't pick up his female character, so I
Turns out.
you know.
All right, Tim, over to you.
I'm going to take UCE workhorse Grigory Rasputin.
I'm surprised he slid that far. I did have him a little higher anticipated.
Nice feud for Omega. All right. And then on the flip side, boy, this is really killing me. I'm going to reach a little further up because I don't think he's going to last. And I'm taking Stuntman Colt Calhoun.
He was next.
Damn.
He was next on my list.
Yeah, that was one of my next ones too. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is going to make this a really awkward pick. I intentionally let Stuntman slide all the way down here because I genuinely want Axel Hendricks.
Oof.
Are
He's
you
on my
fucking
board.
kidding me?
He's on my board.
God damn.
Axel is a young acid ed in the making.
Yep.
I'm going to drop him in a Fed with Vigilante and Genocide.
Can we just tell Axel that it's okay to jump back in? Even though the boards are a little crazy, we
Right.
need him for Sponsor Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
No question. Love Axel. He was on my board. He's one of the guys that, you know, we've only gotten to play together on things a little bit, but when we have, I've always enjoyed it. I love the introspect. I send messages all the time. I don't know if you guys pay a lot of attention when I do the Belt Buddy posts, but when he responds to them, the way in which he writes, this guy who wants to be the meanest, and he really inside is a little bit miserable, but also kind of loves that there's a little bit of like happiness being pulled out of him by Colt. Like the way he writes that is brilliant. And I knew that I could get Axel late, and I'm super thrilled that I did.
I gotta tell you, I know I've been joking around with you all night about taking picks and all that, but I have got to be honest. I thought Axel would be my sneak pick right near the end, because I can tell you right now, I know not everybody's privy, obviously, to stable chats on the Discord, but Eric and I are constantly talking about Axel.
Well,
And
the
the
new
more-
breed needs him back.
Yep,
Yeah.
and the farther we went without him getting picked, I was going to snake him on his next run. And I can't give you grief. That's an excellent pick because he totally deserves to be picked. Great character.
You're
Muted.
muted, Jeff.
I can't hear you, brother.
Yeah, you're muted.
You muted, Jeff.
Thanks, guys. I was saying, I saw Naked Man commenting that he wanted Harry, and I get that. I understand that there are more iconic characters and more iconic versions. I know I'm intentionally choosing the least developed of the characters we've seen except for maybe Booby McGee. But I think Axel's got a bright future if Corey chooses to keep playing him.
We need him. He's taking a little break, but that's okay. Come back for Sponsor Wars.
All right, Chris, we are over to you.
I'm not really sure now because there's a lot of names that I would take, and I've got a couple of these on my 5 up here. I think with my next pick, I'm gonna take Biz Coach.
A good guy.
Gotta have a good guy.
Yeah, I really liked him. I thought he was a good character, good fun character.
Of course. Yeah.
Strong diversity hire. I like it.
Sorry, not trying to give you dead air. Just taking one more look here. How many rounds do we have left? I'm kind of lost track here.
You have 3 more picks total.
Oh,
3
my
picks.
Son of a cracker. Okay.
I'm looking at my Fed and I'm thinking the comedy stable's going to be Kansas Kid, Ola Chico, and Stuntman Colt Calhoun.
I think that's one of the reasons when I looked at mine that I thought I was okay with you. And that's the one, like I said, I don't think you're going to take. I thought you'd take Stuntman. I didn't think you'd take Axel. So I was comfortable letting you go through your picks. Yeah. And one of the reasons was like, I've got a lot of guys that can do that slapstickity comedy if they want to.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot of guys that I think are going to end up wearing brass knuckles and punching people in the face.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Axel's that guy.
I had plenty of those on the front end.
Right.
I mean, I had the guy on the front end. So.
You guys wrong. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I thought the beginning of this was going to be tough, and it turns out the last 3 picks are the ones that are going to be tough because a lot of the guys I thought were going to make it and slide did not slide.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you thought they were gonna.
Well, as I peruse my list, and I'm not trying to make this any longer than it needs to be, I can tell you, and I believe I'm correct in this because he was in my Fed before, because I did want Stuntman. I could not get him because he's gone. I know a lot of people would probably think of taking Harry, but there was another guy that Colt ran that I liked a whole lot, and he was in my Fed for a while. I'm taking Soap Opera Man, so that Dr. A has somebody to play with us.
He can sing to all the soap opera chicks in you.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
And just because it's the natural pick based on what I've already got, Alistair Fiend would be the next one.
There we go.
Al's going to be completely blown away and pleased that he made the list.
You just made the list.
That's right.
Who was that last one? Alistair Fiend.
Yeah.
Alistair.
Who was with us when we got started and then looked at the boards and went, I'm too old for this shit.
Yep. And Colt just said to Soap Opera Man, he was an NGPW. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Harry, but I obviously I like Soap Opera Man, or he wouldn't have been there.
Absolutely.
Let's face it, the nipple song did it. The nipple song did it for everybody. That's just the way it is.
I love the humility of Corey to be like, I can't believe that I had 3 guys taken. Not even surprised a little bit, man. Not even a little bit.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm pretty sure at least 3 of the 4 of us, because I don't want to speak for Tyson, but at least 3 of the 4 of us definitely want to get into Colt Calhoun's jumpsuit. Saying.
Well, it's CCW property now. If you want him, you got to trade it.
Can we come over and visit him?
So we are back to show with their second last pick in the draft, number 50.
Okay. I'm going to do this because I'm not sure if he's going to survive through these next 4 picks. And even if he does, I'm pretty sure at least one of you has him on your secret envelope. So I'm just going to take him because I commissioned him in show. And I think he is probably one of the most improved players compared to what he was, to what he is now, and what he could probably be the more he plays. So I am going to take Jonas Sims jersey with this pick.
I thought you might.
Nice.
I can't say I'm surprised. I like what I've seen from Jay-Z.
Was he on any of yours?
No, actually, he was not. And I will be honest, he was near the bottom of my list. But yes, he was, because I believe, and this is again, it's my personal feeling. I like serious Jay-Z way more than I like comedy Jay-Z. And when he does the serious stuff, he grabs my like. I'm not saying he's not funny. Don't misunderstand me. But when he's serious, he grabs my attention way more with that than he does with the comedy.
Yep. I'd support that.
And if I were to bring him into CWA, it would be for the intent of switching him over to that more serious side.
The thing about him is he's been playing this game for a lot less time than any of us. And I've been playing the game a lot less time than you, but he's been playing the game a lot less time than me. So he's still got stuff to learn, and the ability he's got now I think, you know, once he learns and gets all the nuances, and he's going to be great. He's going to be a top player.
I think that's a great pick.
That's
He
a
was
great-
on my list later in the next few rounds.
I've got a bunch of people on my list that I'm looking at going, hey, I didn't think they were still going to be there.
Right.
But we're in the last 2 rounds. And so for me, this round is pretty straightforward. I'm going to pick one of Leg's characters because he's not in my Fed. And this is how I've built my Fed. If Chris had another character I liked, I'd be picking him too, but he doesn't. So, because the only stoner boy I ever saw was the boner. And I'm not building a boner Fed, right?
Yeah.
When Gino drafts, stoner boy will get picked. And so as I look at Legs and think about what the character is going to be. I see a lot of potential here, but one of the things that I would say, despite the ability of so many characters in my Fed to be like a real face, none of them are a pure face. So I got all his characters at my disposal. I could go with the young character and do the Sean Justice. I could go with the funny character and do Dave Diamond. Everybody knows I love Dave Diamond. But I need a face, like a real pure face. So I'll take Saber.
Really?
Y'all picking next.
Really? He's in my fucking envelope because I thought you would pick him.
Envelope block.
Damn it, dude. He's in my envelope.
You were certain I was going to take Dave Diamond.
I thought for sure. Do you seriously? That's why I put him in there, because I thought you would take Dave.
Sorry, man.
Oh, well, I guess it's a good thing I got that extra pick from Lars now.
I have one envelope block.
Oh God.
Oh, have you had one blocked?
I've had one block. That's okay.
Oh, well.
Hey, so we're about to watch the CCW close out their draft.
Yeah.
Tim, take CCW home. Let's see who
I'm gonna end this thing, right? So, or for me, my first pick is gonna be Frank, Reverend Future, longtime good friend, great character that can play heel or face, and I will fit in as a good guy,
right?
With Alan and
100%.
with that crowd. So that's going to be my 14th pick, and then my 16th pick. Whew, I got a really good problem because I could probably have some of the better AOD guys to choose from.
Sure do.
I mean,
although Tim, I got to tell you, I'm stunned at one of the picks I'm looking at that I had earlier. I thought you were going to take much earlier.
Yeah. But then I have a serious character that's just asking to be picked. But then I think back of what's in my envelope. And I think of the comedy that I already have.
Yep.
With Stuntman, with Kansas, with Ola. I think I'm going to go solid pick and pick Mags of CWA fame and NGPW fame.
I gotta come find him on here. I got him. Good pick.
And that ends it. You can tell me later who that guy was.
I mean, I guess I should wait until after they're done. Huh?
Yeah, you should wait.
All right, and maybe he's in your envelope, and that's why you didn't pick him.
Maybe he is.
So, my last pick will be my character. I said all along in the 16th round I was going to take my character that I wanted to put in the Fed. Take a look at this Fed, and I see so much talent and I just drafted Saber to be my face, and I look at it, and there are guys that can kind of line up with him, but I need Saber to have someone he can lean on. I need Saber to know that if he doesn't have Nighthawk, he has the next Nighthawk. So I will take positive Joe Power.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
But didn't already have 2 Jeff characters. He was on the list.
There you go.
Son of a bitch.
All right.
No, because I was gonna wait until it got to my pick. I was considering offering you a trade because Saber and Nighthawk and Gilgamesh makes so much sense.
Sure.
But you pulled the ace out of your sleeve. I now can't do it because now the thought of Saber working with Joe is too intriguing for me to offer that now.
All right. I'm with you.
That's unless, of course, Titus fucks up with his pick and kills me. And then we might be able to make that trade.
I don't think I will. Guy that I'm taking is another one who has probably issues with activity sometimes, but we're getting him in his prime, so I don't really need to worry about that. I think he's a really, really good writer. He'll probably fit into this Fed quite okay. So I'm going to take Matt McDervish.
Yeah, that's a strong pick.
Good pick. Yep.
Matt McDervish had the sticking problem in FedX, but
yeah,
but he can write and he can play. I like the pick, especially in the 16th round.
Jeff,
Yeah.
I think I just ran across the guy you were talking about.
I bet you did, and I bet you now you're kicking yourself.
A little bit.
Well,
And then look at who else is in your Fed and how they go together.
Yeah, but they also have a dance card with somebody else, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, if this makes it to Matt McDervish, I found you. You were on my list. You did actually make my list. You just didn't make my team.
So here's a question: of the people on the in the envelope, can we trade back for people that weren't picked?
So I think it's an interesting question, and I'd be open to the conversation. But before we get to it, I think we got to look at Mav and find out
Obviously,
who's getting picked
out
with the 64th pick.
Sure.
all right. Well, Saber was my bank in my envelope to get to have, because I, like you guys, the people I have in my Fed are people I want to play with. And so that is forcing me now to choose one of my own characters, which I did not want to do. But damn it, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be in a Fed with all these people and not have somebody to play with. Now the question is, who fits better between the 2 characters I have left? Because Inferno's not a thought. I'm not even going to bring that. I mean, he could fit with Nighthawk and Gilgamesh, but I'm not feeling that.
I thought you had about 7,000 options.
No, actually, I don't. If you look at the list, I don't. So that leaves me with 2 choices, which would be either taking Carissa Rain, who, again, she's another one of my characters I play with. I like the character. I haven't had enough time to develop the character because I never keep her around long enough. And then there's Sean. And the thing with Carissa is I've got ties with Techno that I could play with if I was playing in that Fed, but Sean makes more sense specifically because for the people who don't know Sean's story, Sean was orphaned. He grew up in an orphanage. He was raised by a priest in that orphanage who turned out to be Nighthawk. Nighthawk was the one who brought Sean and Storm together. And then what happened afterward was on Sean. So with my final pick, as much as I hate the fact I'm picking my own guy, I want to be my
Hold
Fed.
on. Before you do it, before you commit, if you want to opt out of my Fed, I will trade you Saber, but realize I won't pick your character with the last pick. I'll go off board and get somebody else. So you can have Saber, but it means you won't have a character in my Fed.
No, I don't want that to happen. No, I was like I said, I was willing to make you the trade because I want to play with Saber, and I thought he would mix in well with Nighthawk and Gilgamesh, but they already have a history, whereas Saber and Joe don't, and that's more intriguing to me, and I would rather do that. Or else I would take the trade. So with my final pick, I will take Sean Justice.
All right. So Sean Justice has come off the board with the final pick in the inaugural FxF Legends draft. So some of you know about this and some of you don't. We each got to put 5 names on a reserve list and put it inside of an envelope, or in Map's case, we made him put it back there. The 5 names we put on the list are 5 people we thought would be undervalued by everybody else. So by putting them on our list, we could get them after the draft. So anybody on this list that hasn't been drafted and isn't on anybody else's list, we get to have in our Fed as well.
Now, do we go in the same order with me going first, or do we just all
It's
go?
not, so we're not doing it first come, first serve. Anybody on your list that isn't on anybody else's list, you get to keep. So whoever wants to read their list first can. I'm opening mine so everybody can see.
Go ahead.
I'll go first. That's fine. And I'll give you a quick synopsis behind each one of these. Okay. Once again, all the people on this list are people who I counted on every time I went from place to place. So I'm sticking with that mode, that idea. And if you don't like it, too bad. I like it. I don't care. Danny.
Oh, can I pause you?
Yeah.
Matt McDervish is in the live stream. Matt, welcome. You got drafted.
Matt, come on back, please.
Very nice.
Did you go ahead? Did you just say who I think you said?
You said Danny.
Danny.
Does anybody else have Danny in their envelope?
Of course not.
No.
Danny is now in your Fed.
The second person on my envelope, and again, I know I'm going to catch hell, and I don't give a shit because I knew none of you would pick them. And if they're in your envelope, then power to you for at least having to, to put them in your envelope. I'll take LDG. Thank you very much.
Living dead girl.
Hey, just out of curiosity, are there any dudes in your Fed or?
Last year,
it's funny that you should ask because the next name on my list, who I feel like everybody forgot about, and maybe again it's just personal preference because when he was in my Feds, he did great work. Sick Boy.
He was on my list.
Yep.
No,
is he
not
on your
my-
envelope list?
No.
Okay.
But he was one of the ones I was torn on.
I got
Sick
you.
Boy. And now the one I'm going to catch the most flack for, and I'm going to tell you right now, this has nothing to do with the fact that they quit all the time. Because when you got through all the quitting bullshit, this person was an excellent writer. And I'm going to tell you something. This was brought to my attention because we had a conversation.
Ito.
In my stream. We had a conversation in my stream because I chose to actually kind of pick fun at this character when I made them in the game. And Kieran Crowe was the one who stepped up and said, you know what? I get where you're going with this, but you cannot deny the fact that this person was good at what they did. Whether they got bitchy about the outcome. I enjoyed the writing, so you're damn right Kitty Hawk is on my list.
Hey, so anybody who wants to come on the podcast next week just to make fun of all the chicks on Map's Fed, I've got an opening. I love you, brother.
Hey, you know what?
I knew who you were taking. This is not a surprise to me.
No, and I'm going to be honest. Like I said, I'm going to be honest. There's something about the way he wrote that draws me in and it draws other people in. And I know he was arrogant and egotistical. I get that. And if things didn't go his way, he wanted to quit. But I'm not looking at it from that standpoint. Just like I didn't look at Emissary as somebody who constantly had to leave and whatnot. For pure talent of writing, I'll take Kitty without a second guess. And as far as me having all the ladies in my Fed, well, that's nothing new because I've always, and you guys know that.
Hold on a second. You have all the Twitter lesbians. I'm pretty sure you only have one lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Angelica is the lone lady, correct? Am I missing somebody?
Nope.
I'm reading some of the comments, and you know what? That's fine, guys. It's like I said, they're
giving you crap. That's
no,
what they're here to do.
but I just to make a point, because you guys know me, because you both have been with me from day one, and I have never treated the female wrestlers any different from the male wrestlers. I understand Ed's thing. I understand Alan's thing. I've played along with those things as a character.
Hold on, let me pause. Ed will punch a woman. He'll punch a baby. Ed doesn't care who he punches.
But you get my point. The point being, I've always treated them the same. I find value in those characters, and I will admit that it fell apart a little bit near the end. I saw some names I thought would slide that didn't, but I'm happy with what I got.
You should be. Listen, you should also expect, look who we play with. You're going to get teased. You're going to get your balls busted.
Absolutely.
That's fine. Hey, you only named 4. You were allowed to name 5. Do you have a 5th one on your list?
My 5th one was Saber.
You lost Saber.
And I lost Saber, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, I had this other name, because
that's good.
I will say this. If I had one more pick that I could have put in this envelope, it would have been, and I almost picked him at the last point until I lost Saber. My last pick was almost Nigel Crowley, because that's Johnny, and I happen to think Nigel Crowley was a more developed and better character than Root.
All right. You're welcome to that opinion. Chris, you want to go next? I know it's it's lunchtime tomorrow for you, so why don't you go next?
It's all good. It's about to get late. It's all good. One of my picks was already taken because I put Axel Hendricks on here, and that's not because of talent. It's because I thought he might not get drafted because of least developed time. But obviously, if I could get him for free, awesome. But obviously, I didn't. My next one is Magnificent, who is KSI, but as Magnificent. Because when he was active, he was one of the guys who would continue. And I didn't think any of you would draft him. And I figured if I could get him for free, I've got a solid workhorse player
Activity,
there.
workhorse, sure. That's absolutely a steal for you to add to your Fed. Agreed.
The next 2, I'll do them as a tag team because that's how I wanted them. And most people, I'm not sure if they came to FedEx, but I know them from Wrassle, and that's Lionel and Switchback.
Lionel's on my list.
Right, okay.
Not my card, but...
Oh, right, okay. Right, so I get those. Excellent. And my last one is one who I was trying to find out for ages who he was an alt of, because I had him in show when we came to FedEx, and he was great. And I didn't want to have him there in case it was like a Dicey Zale alt or something. But I eventually found out that he is actually an alt of Strife. So I'm quite happy with this. And I didn't think any of you would remember him. So that's why I've put him on here. Volkner Lugner. Fuck!
Neither of us are happy that we didn't get to steal Strife in the bonus round.
Yeah. Damn. I thought no one would remember him. Damn.
Me too.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm equally unhappy that you were able to come up with that. All right. So Strife being one of the ones that obviously everybody wants in their Fed, and that was stolen from me. You may have noticed that I let some players that otherwise people would have thought, absolutely, you got to take them. How do you not take them? They've been with you forever. They're talented. They're big players. I long range some of their alts because I thought the alts would fit better with what I was going to do. So how did Divine Intervention, Red Future, and Our Father not get picked by me? Well, I have Samite in my alternates list. And I have the Masked Villain.
Masked Villain, yep.
On my list. I got both Frank and Chris.
Yeah, I didn't think that you'd get away with not having a Frank.
I was pretty sure. And I thought long and hard, but if you saw how I went to some of the good guys early, adding another good guy, I didn't want the Fed to be balanced that way. I love the mass villain character. He did a great job with him.
I think so too.
So good. And
Yep.
Samite brings some of that, you know, a little bit of zany, can do the in-ring action, even though it's not like necessarily pure wrestling. I like that dynamic, and I'm thinking about the Samite. Hey, maybe I haven't seen exactly this, and I said this to Chris recently. Go back and read your Superstar Championship runs. I want you to put that thought back in your head, because I mean, there's a reason he won it as many times.
Yeah, he won them legit too, over good players.
Now, it was a surprise to me that Death Wish didn't come off the board. And yet, I had Baron Von Chaos, who was Death Wish's alt and one of my favorite characters ever. Would I exchange him for Death Wish right now? Because I didn't get Hola Chico, maybe not. If I got Hola, maybe I would swap in for Death Wish, but happy to have Tay on the team. And hey, a lot of people talking about Johnny Rude and Johnny Rude alts. I'll take Homicide, because he was the best Johnny Rude alt. And I love that I could watch those guys that I think should have gone much earlier in the draft get picked. And that Rev was sliding, and I was like, did I decide I was going to long range Rev and no one's going to take Rev? And then Tim scoops him late, and there was no panic in my reaction, which should have told you.
Yeah,
I had him in my
I figured something was up, and we were just like.
And so I didn't get Strife. Neither did Chris. We both got screwed on that one, but I got the other four, and I feel really good about them.
Right. My first card was stolen by Maverick. Maximum Michael Gold.
Yeah.
I was hedging my bets on him and Vigi being available later than what they were. Here's my next 2 and 3 picks that I've landed. The Gothic Warriors, Count Justice and Virtue Knight.
Great choice.
CCW exclusive, another tag team.
Home of the tag teams.
It matches up great with Kansas Kid, Ola Chico, Stuntman Cole Calhoun. Another CCW exclusive, leader of the High Court.
Viz Major.
Yeah.
So I think we did a relatively good job.
Got one more.
Oh, right. Sorry, man.
One more. So I started off and I crossed a couple names out. You see Widowmaker and Streakender. Mav, you ready for this?
Prototype.
I get Prototype.
Can suck my ass.
Suck an STD lollipop.
Hey, you know what? I don't hate you for taking him. I wouldn't piss on the guy if he was on fire. But
that's it.
He just, you know what though? All bullshit aside, nah, he didn't deserve to be drafted. Fuck him. Never mind. Go ahead.
Naked's not sure how Proto slipped, so I'll give you the answer. The two guys, one didn't see him as an earlier pick, and the other hates him, and the other two didn't ever work with him.
Didn't work with him. Yeah.
Right.
They didn't see what we saw. Naked. They didn't see what we saw at all.
That's right.
Hey, look, all I'm going to say about Prototype is sum this up, and I was talking about this earlier to someone, and I don't remember who. The bottom line is we talk about butthurt a lot. Prototype is the king of butthurt. He's still, as far as I know, he's still butthurt about a swerve that happened back in 2000. That's why I can't stand him.
All right. So those are the feds. We're 3 hours, guys, and we certainly picked it up at the end. But I think that worked out well. We had more to talk about in the early picks. We kind of moved through the later picks. We will be back in future podcasts to talk about, how you're going to book your first card, or what does a super card your Fed versus your Fed look like, or hey, when trade updates come, we'll update you on the podcast, and we'll get some people on who maybe have opinions and want to review picks. The great news is we've kind of settled on a schedule for these, and so there will be another one probably near end of summer, and we will invite some. We'll figure it out. Are we going to do just tag teams? this has worked out pretty well, putting characters together to get tag teams. Maybe we'll just do another one, invite a different grouping of people. Good time. Glad we could do it. Stunned Chris is still awake.
It's 5 a.m., 10 past 5.
Any last comments before you die, Chris?
I don't think there's a weak Fed. Like, I can't look at a Fed and say there's a, but I suppose with the top 64, you're not going to get a weak Fed, but I would probably love to play in all 4 of those Feds.
Yeah, and I think that'll be an ongoing, hey, pick one. And it'll be one of those great questions we can do on the podcast.
I couldn't control my Fed, even if I tried. Looking at it on paper, I would lose control in 2 days.
So my biggest fear about my Fed is that between holy, cannibal, I mean, take your pick, naked, like I'm going to blink and the Fed is going to be in an alternate universe, which is not gay CSlam universe, but it was recently invaded by gay CSlam universe, where they have time hopping devices that, and you know what? There's still going to be wrestling matches in it somehow.
And they're going to sell the fuck out of it.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you by looking at my roster, I'm pretty happy. I wound up with 21 people, which is not bad for a situation with what we had. And, you know, near the end, I had to struggle a little bit. I won't lie. I undervalued a couple people and I overvalued a couple people, but I'm still happy with what I got, because when I look at this list, I see people who made CWA what it was and NGPW what it was, and
right.
And I'm just overall I'm happy with what I got. It worked out in the end. So
I'll give you guys some homework, and obviously we won't do it right away, but I want you to think, hey, so I'm going to have a quarter to get my Fed up and running and get everybody in sync. You know, what are the big stories you have going into your first big pay-per-view? Who's booked against who? What does it look like? Like, that's what we're going to do when each of you comes back on the podcast. We're going to talk about your Fed in that light.
I like it.
Right? So spend some time. It could be weeks from now. It's great because we're going to go into sponsor wars. Obviously, that's going to be the next big thing. But this was a ton of fun. I think we, you know, I certainly enjoyed those moments where I could tell, hey, I got that guy at the right time. I know Chris enjoyed the 2 times he got me to, you know, punch my fist.
Jeff, I love looking at your Fed, thinking of the possibilities of Lars and Vigi teaming up with Ove Terror, right, just to piss off Gino again.
But
we get Gino Lars. That's amazing.
We get Gino Lars, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think there's a world of possibility of what we're going to do with that Fed, and I think even some of the supplemental picks that we're looking at going, yeah, okay, so they're all right. I think they're going to surprise. I think the guys we didn't play with, Baron Von Chaos or the Masked Villain, you know, if you don't know Rev Future and you don't know Death Wish, man, they're going to sneak in and turn a 6 angle into a 10 angle before you blink, right? And
no doubt.
And I'm sure that Naked Man is thrilled that his future is tied to a Fed that has Samite in it. I mean, I can only assume.
He's in the Gothic Warriors in the CCW as well. So
there you go.
I can't believe I've got some of the names I've got. Like, I thought me taking Tony second to me is gonna really fuck me, but some of the names I've got on here are amazing.
Oh, hold on a second. I didn't realize this, and we buzzed through it. Colt says he wore his hat backwards expecting to be interviewed, and he is actually on. I think we're going to have to bring Colt Calhoun
Bring him on. Anybody else?
Let's drag him in.
This long. What the hell?
This is legit.
I still got beer to drink.
Right now,
Chris, 3 times and we missed him.
Yeah, right now, Chris is going, God, please, I just want to go to sleep.
I'm honestly, I'm all good. I'm all good.
We stopped looking to care.
There he is. And look at that.
I only did this so Chris has to stay awake.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's amazing. Hey, 3 picks.
Solid.
Honestly, I do think it sums up my entire career in this game, where I'm not at the top. I'm at that middle level type of thing where all of my characters are kind of great guys to be filler characters in a Fed, but not really lead a Fed. So it makes sense. But I am actually surprised I got 3. I was hoping 1 would get in, but I would totally understand if 1 didn't. But for 3 to go, I'm impressed. So thanks, guys.
Were you surprised that Axe was one of them?
Well, having talked with you, I wasn't surprised after you kind of mentioned you might put him in your envelope. So it didn't fully surprise me, but before you made that comment, I would have never even thought someone would take Axel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you right now, Axel was Axel's name, and you can't see it; it's crossed off, but it was right down here. I had every.
Axel's a great character.
I'm telling you right now, Eric and I have conversations on the Discord all the time about how our characters literally want to adopt Axel. I love Axel.
First of all, someone's asking if I use great skin
I'm
products.
just gonna read it to you.
what the hell?
Man of War, right in there. That's awesome.
I'm 41.
We want you back soon.
That's right.
I'm hoping to be back soon, guys.
All right. All right. Sponsor Wars is right here.
So I know you know, but I don't know if you've read it. The stand-in belt buddy is fine, but he's not Axel.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. Hurry up back.
Yeah, no comment.
I don't know how long I can do this.
Good luck, man. It's part of the reason why I left.
Well, we're glad that you were around for it. There's a lot of love for your characters. You saw even when I picked Axel, how Naked was like, no, get Harry. Like, there's a love for your characters, and I think for me, I could first of all, I love the backdrop that you came on and all 4 of them were on. There. It's awesome. I think for me, what I've seen, and I think you know this, like, we didn't run together in a Fed where you were super active a ton. But right. But when I see you, it's always like it's the little tweak you put on what we're doing in a story, the little tweak you put on in that one post. And I always leave and go, if he would just post like 3 more times in a week, he probably jumps way up these boards in a really short period of time.
Yeah. I'm hoping that when the teaching ends here at the end of May, I'll have a active summer because with the certain characters that are here and rumored to be maybe coming in, I might even bring Harry or Colt along with Axel. Axel's coming back for sure, but Harry or Colt might also come out at least for 2 or 3 months.
Awesome.
We need more Axel. We need more Axel.
No.
I need to talk about Alex more often. So
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, because I'll shut up so you guys could get done, but thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, Corey. All right, let me make an adjustment. And I think we have one more person that was in an envelope that would like to join. Do we have time, guys?
Yeah.
I got no place to be. Go ahead.
But Chris is just there like a zombie. Like,
I'm good. I'm good.
You saying we got Prototype on or somebody? Because Mav wants to talk to
Could you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be gold. It is not. It is Chris's envelope that had Magnificent.
Damn.
So let's.
I wanted to see Eric talk to Prototype.
Yeah, let's.
No, you probably didn't. Facebook probably wouldn't approve of that conversation.
So I've promoted Magnificent to come and talk about being in the envelope for show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's just jumping in with us now. This is going to be a situation like I have with Wheels, where he has just no technical ability and we try and do these things and he's, come on, Mags.
How we doing now? Can you hear me?
There we go.
There we go. I had myself unmuted earlier just in case it had me preset when I logged in initially.
No problem.
No. Honestly, I'm not surprised out of everybody that it was Chris Titus to pick me in the envelope of all. Chris, when he started from the eFed in Wrassle, you know, I was the one that was already in Wrassle, established at that point, probably 7 months at that point, I want to say, quite a while. So yeah, no.
Yeah, no, we interacted a lot. We interacted.
Yeah, we worked together quite a long time. Like, probably, honestly, out of like all the time, I probably worked with you the most out of everybody. But it's just one of those things. Like, now it's like what I see. It's like, I know the things you've done before. It's like I see little things you do with your new character. That's why I mess with you so much. It's like I see things you do now. I'm like, oh, come on! I know you can do so much more.
He's just firing shots. I just got him in my Fed. He's firing shots.
I know.
Gets drafted, shows up, throws flames.
Exactly. But that's what I love Chris, you know, as a player and a person. It's just like the character. That's all I'm always fucking with about. Like, that's why I said the character. Like, Chris, no, I love the character, Chris. But as like the character, you know, Tony, no. So far, no. I want to see him grow more.
Do you have because you know you get drafted into
for being picked as that? Yes, being picked as Mag. For Magnuson, like I always know, like for Magnuson, I was never a top tier player. Like I could always fill that role whenever there was a lull in a Fed. Like I could easily step up to fill it. Like I could match another players, like a top tier player. Like I've had those feuds with those top tier players. The Genos, I've had those runs with those players, and they draw that out of me, and I can do it. But the long terms, like I said recently, the comedy stuff, like here with Kansas, it was a side of me that I've never done with Devin, the comedy stuff. I never did that stuff before, but with the Devin Deshawn and the pirate stuff, that was a whole new thing for me. And so it was a fun thing. But so seeing that aspect of being pulled, it's just a fun thing. But then hearing that with Mags was very one dimensional, very.
And yet made enough of an impression that Titus felt, you know, you needed to be. And I think you'd see the same thing for any of our Feds, right? There's guys that I just knew wouldn't make it on the value board for other people. They're not in my envelope because they're not draft worthy. They're in my envelope because I knew I didn't need to spend a pick to draft them.
Exactly. And that's why like when I responded to the thing as Marcus Magnus, since that's magnificent, you know.
Right.
That's my main character. He was a title, a sim hog, a powerhouse. You know, if you wanted a powerhouse to win you titles and win the sim, that's what he was. And that was honestly a big thing initially with the network and all of that push in the network and all that stuff. The Stable War stuff, that's what it was. That was that big pull. Like I had the ability, like RP wise, to carry the mid RP stuff, but when it came down to the RP wise, I'm going to get you points. It was that balance. But I let the RP or the sim dictate how I role play too at the same time.
Gotcha. Well, hey, it's super late. Thank you for coming on. We are going to wrap because Chris is actually going to die. All right. So that was drafted in the envelope. Magnificent. Guys, I think we had a great draft, a pretty long night. It's going to take me forever to compile this and put it on YouTube. So good time. Glad we did it.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
That was great. And I'm super stoked with my Fed. So
I'm happy with mine. It was a great, I enjoyed that immensely. Everybody remember now today, beat Tony Robes down because he's going to be sleeping all day.
Oh, peace.
Today's International Beat Robes down. So everybody grab a steel chair.
And hey, the appropriate chat on Discord to talk shit or to talk up your Fed or the other Feds is still the fantasy draft chat. Let it just flow right around to whenever we do the next one. So that's the place to keep it. Also, you know, we'll post there if we decide to make trades. We're not done talking about our Feds as we start looking at feuds and booking cards and even talking super cards or or anything else we decide to do with this drafting, we'll find that opportunity. All right. Thanks all. We'll see you next time.